By Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For the sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
I don't care about it, released or not. What I think you should do, if you're going to do it, then you have to go into Epstein's friends. This Reid Hoffman spent a lot of time on the island. I was never on his island. Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. You're going to have to look into his friends because, if they're going to do that, and I think the perfect guy to do it would be Southern District, somebody like Jay Clayton. I understand that's who's been assigned.
So President Trump on Air Force One there saying, release the files. I don't care. He says he doesn't care. Release them. But we heard in the Fox News report there at the top of the hour that Chuck Schumer is like, I don't know why Trump just doesn't do it himself. What does he have to hide? Well, I don't know. I would imagine if there was a treasure trove of damning information in there about President Trump, which really seems to be the only thing that matters to the Democrats. It's not what Jeffrey Epstein did. It's not what we know that he was connected to, what we know he was responsible for. It's just if Donald Trump was involved. And if Donald Trump isn't involved, they'll use this kind of illusionary tactic to try to suggest that maybe he's a part of something nefarious just to keep the ruse going. Or, maybe we'll all be proved wrong here on the Annie Fry Show in a matter of time, and we'll find out that Donald Trump was involved in something for the very first time in 2025 after Donald Trump has now competed in 3 consecutive presidential elections. But no, let's wait until he is a year into after his second actual election to say there might be something. Weak sauce.
I don't think there's going to be anything in there. But that's my hot take, and I'm done for the day. See ya.
That hot take is lukewarm at best.
Ooh.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi. How are you?
It's good to see you. Brought your A game today.
I'm ready.
Are you warming up today, or are you starting off hot, like you said? And it's all downhill.
I've
from here.
peaked, and the rest of the show is going to be downhill from here for me.
For you.
Yeah, for you guys. You guys are killing it.
The Epstein files. I'm shocked, but they didn't solve these over the weekend.
Well, they're getting the vote now, and it's just the same question over and over. What is the Epstein files going to be? What are they at this point? And they've got to be. I mean, they've gone through, like you just said, they've gone through so many different administrations now, different sides of the aisle. What else are we going to find? Hopefully, although I don't anticipate this either, there will be some things in there that he just mentioned. He talked about, I've never been on the island. Okay, well, maybe there'll be more information in there that we've never seen before, but I just don't have any hope about anything, including Trump.
I will sit by and watch President Trump continue to navigate the mess of a country that Donald Trump was handed by Joe Biden, while the Democrats have put all of their chips in the center of the table on the Epstein files that everybody out there is saying, come on. You think there'd be something incredibly damning that's going to put pause on this whole conversation right now. Does something need to come of the Epstein files discussion right now in order for the Democrats to impeach Donald Trump should they take the midterms in the House and have the ability to impeach him? Is there anything in this moment in time right now? Is there anything that would have to happen in order for the Democrats to go, I think we should impeach him? Or, for a second, mind you, if the Democrats were given the majority right now, would they not impeach Donald Trump right now?
Yes, they would definitely do it. I mean, they could base it on anything. He'll call the president of South Korea and they'll go, well, that was collusion.
Yeah. That cake is baked. And I consider what the Democrats are going to do with the power should they be given granted the power by the voters of the United States or whatever system of voter fraud that the Democrats have set up and manufactured.
Love it.
Thank you. That was for you.
Thank
I was
you.
just trying to see if you're still listening. Sometimes you look at your computer and I know you're not listening.
Oh, I'm listening right now. When you say that,
You said
I'm
right now,
listening.
which proves my point.
Yeah, go on, and I'll fade
That's
away.
not to say that there aren't times in the Monday Roundup at 12:45 in Wiggins America where I look at my computer and I am doing something else.
Thank you very much. Thank you for saying that.
We can't possibly be responsible for sitting and listening to each other for 3 hours straight.
No, we don't really even care for each other that much.
Not that
to
much.
listen to
Not
each
that
other,
little,
like,
but
oh,
not that
gosh,
much.
Asking a lot.
It's somewhere in the middle.
Thank God there's a paycheck involved.
You know, I was thinking, this is a total side note. My 4-year-old Molly, she adores the nanny that she's had since she was a 12-week-old baby, and her name's Katie.
Her
And
nanny, not the nanny, the TV show.
It's I'm not going to be too specific.
Okay.
But Molly loves her. Every day she asks, "Where do I go today? What kind of day it is?" If it's a Katie day, it's Christmas every single time.
That's cool.
It's so great. And I mean, obviously we compensate her for all of the time and care. Like Molly spent the night at her house the other week. She's like, "I just want to stay with her." And Katie was like, "Bring her over. That's fine." So she spent the night over there. And I was thinking, like, one day Molly's going to find out that we have been paying her. She's going to be like, "Is this a lie?" And it's like, no, it's not a lie.
You're going to get impeached.
I'm going to get him. Yeah. "Mom, I'm taking you to the house floor. And we're going to have a discussion about it." I just found that to be kind of a funny thought. Like, there's a point where that's where a bit of your childhood goes away.
Yeah, when you
start realizing that people are doing things but for money, which is why you're here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
There was Brad. Are you familiar with the Bill Maher conversation? The one I know you're familiar with it because you.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you know the guy who was? Is it Scott Galloway?
Scott Galloway is the guy's name.
What do you know about him? Anything?
He's got a book out, and it's about the topic of losing. Are we losing our men, young men? When I was pulling the clips, I saw a little bit more, but that was my only exposure to the clips.
So we're gonna talk a lot about this throughout the course of today's show, and I'm going to ask a lot of questions, and Ryan and Ethan and Brad will fight over who gets to speak for men.
I'll fight the hardest.
That should have.
That's what men do. Real men.
Only if you win.
Yeah, if I lose, then forget that I said that.
If he
If you
loses,
get like a participation trophy, I'll hand you one of those. Which brings me to the YouTube live chat poll. The question for today is, are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? Let me say that again for the slow men out there.
I already got it, so.
And the women who checked out because I was talking about men now. Are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? So every Tuesday we do a segment on the show called X's and Y's. And we ask questions like, why are women like that? Or do men really fill in the blank? We do that. It's kind of a obvious play on the idea that there are two sexes. There are two genders. There are men and there are women. And they are completely and totally biologically, mentally, physically different. We are part of the same species, but barely. And there are things that you would never know across genders unless you ask, because there's no way, Ryan, that you could understand what it's like to have a menstrual period. But you know that they happen. And there's a part of, like, for men, there is a part of life where you understand that is existing for someone, and you're just kind of like, you have to, if you're smart, take it with a grain of salt and just basically go with whatever she says, because you don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to having the lived experience of having to go through life, experiencing that on a monthly basis, and the side effects or symptoms or whatever that come with it. Men just have to take women's word for it. Is it really as bad as women say? For some it is, for some it isn't. And on the converse, there are impulses, there are, like the question that came up within the last year, I think it was, is like, ask men how often they think about the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, you said you thought about it a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Ryan,
Only because I read the Bible I don't think about it a lot.
I don't
outside
think
of that.
I don't think
You
Ryan
read the Bible every day.
I don't think Ryan. My recollection was like you were not consistently thinking about the fall of the Roman Empire and the parallels to today's society and how you might fight against a tyrannical government in the event that something like that were to occur.
Not all the time. A little bit.
No. I mean, as a woman, especially an over analytical, hyper worrier kind of female that I am, I saw that trend and I was like, what? The Roman Empire? And then I asked some men in my life about it and they were like, oh, I don't know, every once in a while. And I'm like, you're in on it. Like, you're obviously like, okay, so clearly we are very different beings. I think that you can go back to like caveman time and understand that there are impulses that men have and impulses that women have that are necessary within their genders in order for society to further itself and continue to function. That seems like a pretty scientific survival of the fittest kind of, rooted in science, as long as science has been a thing. If one of those sides begins to deteriorate, and you could easily ask this question about women as well, and we can have a discussion in the 2:00 hour, which is more detrimental to society, men losing the impulse to be men or women losing the impulse to be women? I want to know from you folks, and your comments are going to be very helpful in this discussion. Are you concerned that men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? Here are your options. Yes, you're concerned, but it's already lost. Yes, but it's correctable. Or no, this is not a real issue. And I ran this poll question by Ethan ahead of time and he helped me. I'm going to be the lady in the room asking men why men aren't men anymore. So I went to the man on the show, Ethan.
I get it. I knew it was going there, so just let it go.
And he grunted,
and
I interpreted, and came up with these responses.
Great. Good for you guys. You guys were just barking at each other like dogs, apparently.
No, he was barking, and I was like, okay.
I can't wait for Ethan Sports and Local today.
Me too. or him to come in now.
Yeah.
It's like men being men again.
Yeah, when you're not around, that is what it sounds like.
It's the Manny Fry Show.
But we speak intelligibly when you're here. You would never know because you're always here.
Everybody always says they like the Manny Fry Show, but it's usually the men. Maybe they understand it better.
Code switching.
All right. So go vote. Tell us what you think on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'd love to have you subscribe there. And we put out a lot of great content from the show. If you might have missed something, it's going to be there. And a reminder, if you go to the Odyssey app, you can stream 97.1 all day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in crystal clear connection anywhere you go on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. When we come back, Ryan Schmelz is going to give us an update from an opened government in the Capitol Hill. We'll find out. What are you going to say a little bit about Marjorie Taylor Greene? It's a little spat, you could say, going on in Capitol Hill between Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. We'll get to the bottom of it with Ryan Schmelz next.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong. And what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond. And that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood comes
So, shopping for flooring this holiday season, do yourself a favor, get with your spouse, your significant other, and give yourself the gift of a home improvement. That happens. It definitely happens in our house over Christmas time. If flooring is the gift that you're giving yourselves, a brand new, beautiful carpeting in the basement, fresh carpet, clean carpet, soft carpet, resilient carpet, probably that Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line of carpet, Michael's is going to answer that call. You can learn about it online by shopping at igotfloored.com. You can even request an estimate directly from that website, or you can visit them in any of their 3 locations in St. Louis. They'll service both sides of the river, so Missouri and Illinois alike. If you're shopping for flooring, go to a place been partnering with 97.1 for decades now that is going to be excited to hear you come through the door and say that you heard about them on the Annie Fry Show. You can learn what you need to know, read their reviews as well. It's all online at igotfloored.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you could get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Bring it. What? On your mark, ready, set, let's go. Dance floor, bro. I know, you know, I go psycho when my
Chuck Schumer's generation, Nancy Pelosi's generation, John Lewis's generation, they have so much to be proud of. It is time, though, for new leadership. The other generations, X, Millennials, Z, it's time for us to step up. The stage is waiting for us to lead.
We have dynamic, young, new leaders.
Who are some of the top
Chris
names?
Murphy is a top leader. Cory Booker is a dynamic leader. Brian Schatz is a dynamic leader. I mean, Elizabeth Warren, someone whose ideology I appreciate. There are a lot of great talent. And really, is Chuck Schumer, when you think about it, just from a common sense test, do you think Democrats around the country think that Chuck Schumer should be the face of the future of the Democratic Party? Of course not. We need to be more independent and truth-telling in this country and bold and not rest on niceties.
So there you had Senator Cory Booker and then Representative Ro Khanna, one from Jersey, one from California, talking about the leadership in the Democrat Party. And it looks as though the Democrats have some soul searching to do. But I got to add to that the Republicans on their side of the aisle have an interesting spat going on involving the President of the United States and a very prominent figure in the House of Representatives in Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's get to the man on Capitol Hill. Ryan Schmelz joins us once again, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent. It's like the Real Housewives over there on the Capitol Hill. Ryan, thanks for being with us today.
Never a shortage of drama, Annie. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I hope you had a good weekend. Let's talk first. You can pick which route you want to take, Republicans or Democrats, but it does seem as though while usually we're used to seeing them fight with each other, there is fighting amongst their own parties right now. What is your assessment of the Democrats and the Republicans? Who's got it together more?
Well, it's hard to really know. I mean, I think it's pretty clear who the leader of the Republican Party is. That's President Trump, and it's going to be President Trump until otherwise proven any different. I think with the Democrats, what you're looking at right now is something that's not shocking because we saw this already happen in the month of March. It's just gotten louder, which are the calls to replace Chuck Schumer as the leader of the Senate Democrats. Clearly, he is facing a lot of backlash for how this government shutdown fight was handled and ultimately how it ended. Now, of course, we should probably point out that Leader Schumer did not support the final measure that reopened the government. There were 8 senators who caucused with Democrats who are the ones who chose to do that, but that has not stopped the calls from House Democrats calling on Schumer to step aside, including Rashida Tlaib. You've got Ro Khanna, who you just heard from right there. It's been a little bit quieter on the Senate. We should probably point that out. And also AOC has not officially called on Schumer to step aside either. And that's the person I think everyone's watching as a possible primary opponent to Schumer if she decides to go that route.
So, I'm glad you brought up Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, especially in the context of Chuck Schumer, because a lot of people suggested throughout the course of the entire shutdown that Chuck Schumer's hand was only forced by a potential primary from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Question to you, Ryan Schmelz, who's speaking with us right now from Capitol Hill. Has there ever been, to your knowledge, from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a discussion, a statement, a comment that affirms that she's considering primarying Chuck Schumer, or is that all noise that is surrounding her?
I haven't seen anything, from her directly saying, oh, yes, I think I might run for Senate or something along those lines. No, I think this is a lot of sourcing that's gone out there about conversations that might be happening. And a lot of it is just people who are big fans of hers calling on her to run to replace Chuck Schumer. So a lot of it is the progressive wing or maybe even the activist wing of the party pushing this narrative of her potentially defeating Chuck Schumer. And look, Republicans have even been guilty of pushing this too, because you have somebody like Mike Lawler, who is a swing district congressman, Republican from New York. He has said out loud that he thinks that AOC would beat Schumer by a lot if she were to run. I've even heard from voters who are Republicans who say, yeah, if she runs, she probably could beat Chuck Schumer. I mean, there's just this thought that she would stand a good chance and that it would just be something different. So I don't know if she's ever come out and said, yes, this is something I really want to do, but she has acknowledged that she's getting a lot of input and a lot of people encouraging her to do that.
So we're speaking with Ryan Schmelz. He's a Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent. You can follow him on X at Ryan Schmelz Fox. Moving over to the Republican side of the aisle, there is a little bit of, there's a partnership, a bipartisan effort for these Epstein files. We've seen President Trump say on Air Force One, release him. He doesn't care. He says he doesn't have anything to be worried about. In the past, we've seen President Trump suggest that there are people who are going to get caught up and they're going to be innocent people who are going to get sideswiped because of certain things that have been testified for. These people are going to be innocent. They're not going to be the criminals that are being pursued in the public with the release of the Epstein files. But a leader of this cause for the Republicans has been Marjorie Taylor Greene, the congresswoman from Georgia. There has been a lot of back and forth on X/Truth Social between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump. They seem to no longer support each other, and that's in their own words. Can you give us any context to this this breakup, if you will, between the president and one of the people who used to be one of his strongest supporters on the Republican side of the House?
Right. Well, a lot of this does stem from the Epstein files. Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the few Republicans who signed the discharge petition that ultimately would compel a vote on the release of the Epstein files. She refused to take her name off. She got a lot of criticism from within her own party for doing that. That's one of the things. There have been other comments she has made. She has been critical of the tariffs. She has pointed out that she has gone back to her district and asked people who have raised their concerns about tariffs to her in her constituency. Then you also have her criticism of the party on the issue of health care, where she says that the Republican Party lacks a plan to deal with the cost of health care. So she has made a number of statements, not just related to Jeffrey Epstein, but on a number of other issues that have kind of started to salt this relationship a little bit, and to the point now where it's escalated and President Trump is calling her to no longer be serving her constituents. He said he'd be open to endorsing a primary opponent. So this relationship went from being, her as one of the most ardent Trump supporters, one of his most loyal followers in the House, to now being probably one of his biggest voices of opposition, at least.
Yeah, some of the comments that were made by Marjorie Taylor Greene were that she alluded to the fact that there are threats being made to her life that stem from the president. Is there any sort of substance to that? I mean, it was a little vague the way so it's kind of like left open to interpretation. Can you comment on that?
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene has talked about how she's already been one of the most swatted members of Congress, which is the process of calling 911, telling them to go to a certain member of Congress's house, even though it's a false alarm. These situations have increased dramatically for members of Congress. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is apparently one of the most targeted members of Congress when it comes to swatting. And of course, you have social media now and some of the toxic things that are said on there all the time about everybody. And she's no stranger to seeing negative message, even threatening messages on social media. I don't know specifically what she's talking about when it comes to threats against her life. I haven't seen any details like specifically on that, but we should probably note that Marjorie Taylor Greene has faced this kind of criticism and this type of behavior in the past.
Okay. Ryan Schmelz speaking with us right now from Capitol Hill. Last question I have for you is any context that you can provide us on the words Epstein files. So everybody wants the Epstein files, but I put myself at the front of this category of people. I don't think most people know what the Epstein files actually are. So if we talk about, Republicans want to have them be released, we know that the Democrats and the Republicans joined together. Few Republicans, as you mentioned, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, signed the discharge petition in order to release those files. We got some from last week, but my understanding is that the Republicans have also released files related to Jeffrey Epstein up until this point, since they have controlled the House and some of Congress. So if there are more files to be released, can you tell us what is it that is being withheld right now? What is President Trump saying? Release them? What are the American people going to get if the quote unquote Epstein files actually are released?
And the understanding is that would be any document that the federal government has related to Jeffrey Epstein. And in this case, the House Oversight Committee has been investigating Jeffrey Epstein and been putting in requests, doing subpoenas, pretty much obtaining the documents themselves, going through it, making sure certain information is redacted, and then releasing it from there. The big criticism of what's been released so far and what the Oversight Committee is receiving from the Department of Justice is that the information they're getting is so heavily redacted that it's almost hard to read, and you can't really decipher any information from it. So there's become this little back and forth amongst the House Oversight Committee and those who have been advocating for the Epstein files to be released, because the Oversight Committee is saying, well, we've got to be careful with this because, if we don't want to release any information related to victims' names, their addresses, any type of sensitive information along those lines. But then the counter argument to that is, well, you are getting these documents, but the information you're getting from these documents, it's just black everywhere, and you can't really actually read what's in there or decipher the information that's in there. So it's a big back and forth that's been going on for some time now. And essentially the idea is that if you vote to release the Epstein files, a lot more of that information is going to be released, and it's going to be a lot less redacted than what they're getting right now.
Okay. So, and then last question for you. If the documents exist and the people in the FBI who've been doing the investigations, they can see the unredacted documents, obviously. Who has the ability from where they are unredacted to where we might get them? Are there multiple parties that could put redactions in before they get to us? My understanding was in the trove of documents that were released because of that discharge petition that the victim's name was redacted, one of them that associated Donald Trump with one of the victims. The reports are that Democrats chose to redact Giuffre's name from there, and she has already testified under oath in multiple instances that President Trump never did anything nefarious, but the Democrats took the opportunity when releasing them to redact that information. So when the American public does receive these files, who could all have a say in what the American people get to see and what they don't get to see with those redacted files?
Yeah, that's going to be a little complicated too, because most of the time it's been up to the Department of Justice, and then I believe the Oversight Committee's gone through a lot of the information they've gotten and did their own redactions there. There would still be redactions, from my understanding, in the Epstein files to be released if they pass the resolution in the House and the Senate. But is it going to be to the extent of the Oversight Committee and what they have and what the Department of Justice has already put out? We're not quite sure. But yes, there are certain redactions that have been, seen, especially in the one example you just mentioned. So it's going to be very complicated. And until we see the documents and how they're going to be released from the legislation, I think it's going to be hard to tell what's going to get redacted and what's not going to be redacted and what's going to be different this time around.
I hate when I do this because I already said last question, but this is really the last question. Is there are we going to get more Epstein files soon? Is there a timeline on when the next, or maybe all of it, might drop?
I don't have an update for when it's going to happen from the Oversight Committee, but I mean, look, if they have this vote tomorrow, which we are expecting to happen, and then the Senate votes on it at some point too, I mean, I think it's going to be almost immediate for the most part. So it could be weeks, might be longer, but they're pretty close to passing this tomorrow. So we'll see.
All right, Ryan Schmelz, we always appreciate you. Thanks for being with us again today.
Of course. Thank you, Annie.
Talk to you soon. Ryan Schmelz is the Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent. Follow him on X at Ryan Schmelz Fox. All right, let's take a quick break. The YouTube live chat poll for today. Are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? Yes, it's already lost. Yes, but it's correctable. Or no, it's not a real issue. Go vote. Annie Fry YouTube channel. Stream us on the Odyssey app. We'll be right back.
This handsome kid, sick a cigar right from Cuba Cuba. I just bite it, it's for the look, I don't light it. Ill way to hammer on the hand, stay on play. Give it up, jiggy, make it feel like foreplay. Yo, my cardio is infinite. Big Willie style's all in it. Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. The website has everything you need to know. So why am I going to talk to you about Home Shield Foundation Repairs and why Matt Hayes is the guy who you want to call? Well, because I want you to understand when you have an issue like the wetness in your basement, foundation cracks, those type of things, there are a lot of websites that you can go see, okay, these people, they can do the trick, whatever. You want to be connected with somebody who's a good person, who has been doing this for a while, who's an expert and has a proven record. And that's Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair. If you call 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, Home Shield Foundation Repair is going to come visit your home, look in your basement, assess your situation, and give you a customized solution to your needs. That's really important, to not come in with an automatic, okay, we're going to give you package A because we give everybody package A. They're going to give you the things that you need to solve your basement wetness problem for good. 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hi, it's Mark Cox. When I endorse a product or service on the radio, I take it seriously. I do my research. I did the same when I first met Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty over 5 years ago. Gloria is here in studio today, and I'll ask the same question I asked you when we first met and before you helped me sell my home. Gloria, tell us, what sets you apart from other agents?
Well, number one is my guaranteed offers. I'm so confident that I'll sell your home at 100% of market value, or I'll pay the difference. Number two is I already have the buyers, so your home may already be sold. I literally have thousands of buyers in my Buyers in Waiting program. This is how I'm able to create higher demand, more offers, and that means more money in your pocket.
Friends, get to know Gloria Lou like I have. Upfront written guarantees with the least hassle. Call Gloria Lou right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You may have heard of this event. It's an annual St. Louis tradition the day before Thanksgiving, the Wednesday that's coming up. It's about 9 days away now. You know what I'm talking about? 38 years running now. It's guns and hoses, and it is a blast to attend. If you've never been, we're going to give you a chance to win free tickets between 2:30 and 2:40 today. So be sure to pay attention for us to tell you when to call. When that happens, you could win a pair of tickets to see Guns and Hoses the day before Thanksgiving. It is 12:39 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, air conditioning, electrical, and plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From the gateway city to the front lines of freedom. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
If you have the opportunity to, and I'm going to post some of those pictures this week of my experience of going to the Polar Express with my family. If you have the opportunity and the means to make this a possibility, I'm talking to you, especially you grandparents. Treat your grandkids. Take your grandkids. Give the parents a break.
we're imploring you.
Take your grandkids, and then mom and dad, you guys go have a nice dinner date out on your own.
That would be a great idea.
That's all I want for Christmas.
If somebody could come up with
someone
that
to come get my kids
for us
and take them from me
personally,
and then give them back, of course. But it is an injection of holiday spirit in your veins and your bones and your spirit. It's wonderful. We went on Wednesday. They had a little media night, and we were able to go take it in. Rode the Ferris wheel, the carousel. I got to opt out of that one. Thank you, Jared. A little putt-putt golf action out there.
See, you did the other side. Now, we did the opposite side where we did the roller coaster and the swings, and we did the carnival games.
Yeah, we didn't do that. You did the 8 o'clock train?
No, we did 7:15.
I thought that there were only 3. How many are there a day? Because we went to the 6 o'clock.
You went to the 6. We were at 7:15, and then there's like an 8:30 or something.
There's a 4. No, I think it's 4, 6, and 8.
Oh, that's what we did.
7:15? Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was for that one particular. I don't know. But it is a wonderful experience, and also if you don't want to do the actual train ride, you can go down there and take in the sights and the sounds, and it is lovely. There are 38 days until Christmas.
Well, that's more than it seems.
Really?
Yeah, it does because it
Are you
feels
good with
like
numbers?
No, but it feels like we're behind already. We just did Christmas inventory this weekend to see what we had because we buy stuff throughout the year, and it was like, well, we got some good kid stuff, but we don't have anything for anybody else.
Yeah, I have made purchases for my kids, just things that they say if they say that they would like to have something, and it's usually tops a $20 item, I'm Amazon shipping that thing in the moment if I feel like it's a good a good thing for them to have for Christmas.
You know what we did this weekend though? We put the tree up already.
I haven't gotten anything up.
Yeah, we did that, and it was so uneventful though. I feel like it just kind of happened and we were done with it.
For us, everything goes up and then the tree goes up. We decorate the tree among the Christmas decorations and my record player and everything. So
we did all that. We put the Christmas record on. I don't know. It
What's
just
your
feels
record?
like
Is it a record?
Yeah, it was a Christmas record. It's called Home for Christmas.
Is it an actual vinyl record or
Yeah.
is it an album on Spotify?
Oh no, it is a Christmas vinyl record
That's
from
the way
1967.
to go.
Heck yeah.
The best thing to shop for at estate sales and yard sales is records. I love that.
I tend to agree with that. Although the really good ones, the problem is the really good records get picked immediately by collectors, and so you got to really dig to find the good ones. But Christmas is a good one. There always lots of Christmas ones.
Doug says on the YouTube live chat, is Annie saying the gifts don't come from Santa? Are you kidding me? I give my kids a ton of gifts. Santa brings one gift to each of the children in my house, and I explain to my kids, like, you need to understand that Santa is doing the work for kids all over the place, and your parents are doing the work for you. So you can ask Santa for one thing, but it better be a practical thing, and the rest of those gifts under that, those are from our paycheck.
See, we're the reverse. We rely entirely on Santa because it's free.
Yeah.
We don't want to pay anything.
Big Mom Donnie fans in the Wiggins house. That's for
No, we don't share. No.
Santa's
We don't.
a
Once we have
socialist.
the presents, we don't share amongst ourselves.
No, you just rely on the big man to provide the things.
Other people to give us things like Christmas gifts and healthcare.
It's a good thing it's not a fantasy. YouTube live chat poll. Are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society, like waiting for other people to show up to shower you with gifts?
I thought you were just going to say shower you. I'm
Does
dirty
Santa Claus,
again.
do you get bathed by Santa Claus too?
Bring me my bath.
Aye. The options here are yes, it's already lost. Yes, but it's correctable. Or no, it's not a real issue, Annie. Men are not losing the traits that make them unique contributors. This year, and you're thinking, gosh, this mortgage, we've had this high interest rate for a couple of years when we purchased our house. They seem to have come down a little bit. You might give yourself a great holiday present when you go to Stewie at 314-324-4440 and talk to him about a bagel loan. Now, a bagel loan costs nothing to go through. There are no closing costs. You're going to get a brand new mortgage. You can refinance at a lower term. So maybe you were at a 30-year fixed in one of the high rates that were out there, and they've come down since then. Maybe you refinance at a 25-year or 20-year or something. And with the rate going down, your payment doesn't move too terribly much, and you can still afford it. Stewie can help you optimize your mortgage situation with a bagel loan. It comes with $0 in closing costs. Also, remember, you can use a refinance bagel loan as well. You can purchase a new home with a bagel loan. You can refinance. You can even take cash out with a refinance on a bagel loan. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
Let's show our appreciation for local heroes. Mark Cox here. Nominate a first responder and their department could get lunch from Grill Master Tony's. I'll personally deliver it. Share their story at 971talk.com. Nominate them today.
Stop just trying to paint and patch up the outside of your home. It's time to give it a permanent upgrade with James Hardie fiber cement siding from Lakeside Renovation and Design. This siding is designed to stand up to all the crazy weather we get here in Missouri, and it looks fantastic. Lakeside is a James Hardie elite preferred contractor. Whole team, by the way, is in-house, and they're going to take care of all the details, the color, the trim, everything to customize it to your home, to take the stress off of your plate. If your home is showing any signs of wear, it's time to take the next step. Visit lakesiderd.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins! Monday Roundup! Yeah! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
I'm going to start with some good news from this weekend. This is from the New York Post. New Yorkers are turning to church. The number of Catholic converts that they are tracking is soaring, according to local priests. And it reads like this. However, in a recent crowded Sunday night mass at St. Joseph Church in Greenwich Village, Father Jonatella.
It's a long weekend.
I'm having trouble getting this out.
Words.
According to Father Jonah Teller,
That's not even hard.
I know. Father
I thought you were
Jonah
trying to say something Italian.
No. It sounded like it, though, didn't it?
Jonatella.
Father Jonatella. I bet he gets that a lot, too.
I bet he doesn't.
He's going to start now because it's famous. It's in St. Louis.
Yeah. We said it here on the Annie Fry Show. It will now be everywhere.
The number enrolled in the parish's Order of Christian Initiation of Adults, which is the process by which adults convert to Catholicism, has tripled since last year. And they are looking at a number of churches. St. Vincent Ferrer on the Upper East Side is a big church. At the Basilica St. Patrick's Old Cathedral, they've also doubled their head count. And they asked them, what do you think did it? And it looks like they're saying, even if they weren't big followers or fans, that it was the assassination of Charlie Kirk that has caused people to start seeking out their roots in their faith. And the number of attendees at these Catholic churches, anyway, has skyrocketed since then. Cool story. All right, here's some hard news for your weekend or from your weekend. The FAA has lifted emergency flight reductions used to ease staffing pressure during the government shutdown. The emergency order was officially lifted this morning at 6 a.m., ending the reductions that caused mass cancellations and delays at airports. This is good news for everybody. The cuts, which started with a 4% reduction in flights at 40 major airports on November 7th, were designed to address fatigue and staffing issues among air traffic controllers amid the record-long government shutdown, but it's all going back to normal now. And I've seen floated, too, that everybody who stayed on and didn't take a lot of time off during that shutdown is going to get a $10,000 bonus, possibly.
Can you imagine?
Out of this.
Odyssey,
wow,
you want
that'd
to
be
tell
great.
us to stay home for a month or so and then bonus us $10,000?
And then we'll
I'll
keep
take $5.
coming. Yeah, we'll keep coming to work, and then you can bonus us later. That'd be great.
We're kind of like air traffic control.
We're essential personnel. During COVID, we got the pass. We had the media thing. That was great. Okay, so that was some hard news. Here's a little softer news for you. This is a story from USA Today. And I'm just going to read a couple of there's like multiple headlines here. I'm going to read them. Justice Sotomayor empowers kids with hope. That's the headline of the story. This is all centered.
I wonder if you asked 1,000 children who Justice Sotomayor is, if they'd have any idea. I think there would be zero.
I think you're right. This is centered around a new book that she's releasing.
Oh, there's money involved?
There is money involved,
Did
yeah.
she make money or is it for charity?
No, I think she might actually make money from this.
Okay.
Although she has to sell some books. So who knows?
So let's promote her here for a little
Maybe
bit.
she got an upfront from it, though. The other headline, which was the clickbait that got me to click it, was Justice Sonia Sotomayor says love is a greater force than hate. That was the other headline. Wow, this is a great person. I want to read more about her. Well, anyway, she's releasing a new book called My Beloved World. And this whole article
I wonder if Amy Coney
so
Barrett argues with her in it.
is so glowing that I just thought it was too funny to not bring in.
This
for
is
the
helpful
weekend
for our
roundup.
audience. I think we've sold some books for her.
Well, if you want it, Justice Sotomayor, My Beloved World. Can you imagine trying to read that book?
Can you imagine tuning into the Annie Fry Show? Be like, I got to listen to 1245 to find out what I missed over the weekend.
That is what you missed. Have you ever been, though, to a store, a Walmart, Target, even local libraries?
Yes.
And they have these books for kids, usually, about historical figures or, prominent politicians. They are never, ever, ever anybody on the right. But the left will get these books. Like Kagan will have something out there. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, what a historical figure. There is never anything about Scalia or anybody on the right. And for whatever reason, it's mainstream that you just can't do that. And Walmart doesn't even carry a lot of books. There's just like one shelf, and you'll just see those. So I bet you'll see that if you go into a Walmart soon. Anyway, here's more important news. Dog accidentally shoots owner with shotgun.
This is not good. Not good for dog owners anywhere.
It's not good for dog owners.
And shotgun owners, unless your dog is a shotgun owner.
A 53-year-old man was wounded Tuesday night after his dog reportedly shot him with a shotgun inside his home in Berks County, Pennsylvania.
George.
Police were called to the home at about 11:15 p.m. for a shooting, according to a report from a local news station. Investigators learned the gunfire rang out after the man placed his shotgun on a bed while cleaning it, leaving an unlikely suspect. The breed of four-legged suspect has not been released, though. But they did include...
As if the breed matters.
They did include a stock photo of a dog, just in case you're not familiar with a dog. What's a dog? That's a dog. A furry friend inside the home, here's how it happened, reportedly leaped onto the bed and his foot caught the trigger, causing the gun to go off and a bullet to strike the man in the back.
Time out.
Oh, my gosh.
So the owner was cleaning the guns?
Yes. And
Why was it loaded?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is the guy okay? Is he dead?
There is no report on his condition. And I looked everywhere, and nobody knows how he's doing. So he could be alive. He could be dead.
Whose headline is this?
This is Fox News.
What does the headline say?
Dog accidentally shoots owner with shotgun in Pennsylvania.
Was it buckshot? Was it?
It says, let's see, gun to go off and a bullet to strike the man in the back.
Yeah, the writer of that doesn't necessarily know the difference.
He was taken to a local hospital where he underwent surgery for his injuries. It is unclear about the man, but they keep repeating here too. It is unclear what age and breed the dog was, if you're concerned.
Isn't that what they're not saying right now is that it wasn't a pit bull. Like pit bulls aren't shooting people now.
They're not saying that.
Because
we don't know.
Pit bulls are the dog that everyone argues about.
Yeah. They typically are not involved in shootings, though.
No dogs are involved in shootings.
Very few dogs are involved in shootings.
There's no dog that they're going to report shot its owner because its owner left a loaded shotgun on a bed. There's no dog that's going to make people go, oh, well, that makes sense.
Wouldn't that be a cute mugshot, though?
Of course it's a pit bull.
It would be so cute.
A man was shot.
Not of the man.
I know that.
Of the dog.
He wasn't a good boy.
Last one, while we still have time. This one actually comes out of St. Louis, Missouri. You ever heard of that?
This isn't going well.
No, it's a fun story, though. AI imagery has become so widespread that there's a massive rumor going on nationally that a Branson area store is going to become a McDonald's first ever buffet. And there's images.
Ryan, when we talk about good stories.
Yeah, this is a good one.
No, when we talk about good St. Louis stories, this is neither a St. Louis story.
Well, it's posted from Fox 2 now.
Nor is it what I would qualify as good news.
Oh, yeah, this is a great story because it says for just $12.99, diners can now help themselves to unlimited Big Macs, Quarter Pounders, chicken nuggets,
how many do you need?
Fries, and hot apple pies.
Are
but
McRibs on there?
This is a fake story. It is going viral all over the country.
So it's bad news.
Well, depending if you want a buffet or don't want a McDonald's buffet. But there is no plans, according to McDonald's, to actually open a buffet, especially not in
I can't think of a
Branson.
better song to end this segment on.
So there you go. If you see it going around, it's not real. There's no McDonald's buffet opening in Branson.
But you're still happy of a fake story.
It was a cool story because it made national
Let's
news.
ask Steve more about it next on the Annie Fry Show. And maybe like tariffs and $2,000 checks and such. The economy next on the Annie Fry Show.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Dad, that's what Grandpa Rip always said.
That's right. 50 years ago, Grandpa started Grasser, and whenever a customer called, he'd smile and say, "Hey, it's good to see you."
Hey, it's good to see you.
It was his way of treating people like neighbors, not numbers. That's why we still say it today.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Hey, it's good to see you.
With this season's drought and high temperatures, demand for new sprinkler system installs is at its peak. Even with a little rain in the forecast, now is the absolute best time to put a new system in place, setting you up for a healthier, greener lawn next year. Don't let your lawn go through another season looking the way it does today. Take control now, and you'll never have to worry about the damage heat and dry weather can cause again. Call 636-695-7800 or visit prooutdoor.com to schedule your new system installation today.
The Retirement Advisory Group, you know, Thomas Helbig, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, they've been great partners here with us on the Annie Fry Show, with the station, but they've been great partners with listeners just like you. Folks who are very close to retirement, individuals like you who have been saving for a long time, and now you're thinking, gosh, I really want to make this happen. I've got a nest egg I'm very proud of. But what do I do next? You need to know the tips and tricks to take when you're at this phase of moving into retirement. You need to call the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. The Retirement Advisory Group can help you build your own personalized structured income plan. That's how you pay yourself in retirement on the back of all of the hard work and sacrifice that you've made during your working years. Schedule a no-cost, no-obligation review of your retirement at 314-993-9494. Learn everything you need to know as well online at retirementkey.com.
Hurt in a motorcycle accident? You need someone who knows St. Louis, who's about St. Louis. You need Kaufman Townsley, your hometown injury lawyers. We're here for real people with real results. Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis Injury Lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Governor sending a message about immigration enforcement. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Louisiana's Republican Governor Jeff Landry telling Fox,
when ICE is ready, we certainly welcome them to come into the city and be able to start taking some of these dangerous, criminal, illegal aliens off of our streets.
Though he is not confirming reports that New Orleans could see a federal crackdown soon, Landry says he believes an effort to break up violent gangs in the city would be welcomed. But there were weekend protests in Charlotte, where Homeland Security confirms more than 100 arrests in the first 2 days of an enforcement operation.
DHS says many of those people do have criminal records ranging from known gang membership to aggravated assaults, DUIs, shoplifting, and more. But many Charlotte residents and local officials say these operations are causing unnecessary fear.
Fox's Madison Scarpino in Charlotte. A U.S. defense official confirming National Guard troops sent to Portland and Chicago will return to their own states. However, home state troops will remain activated in those cities. Congress prepares to vote on releasing the Epstein files.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer encouraging members of the House to vote in favor of the resolution to compel the release of the Epstein files, while calling on President Trump and the Department of Justice to release them immediately.
We wouldn't even need a vote in the House tomorrow if Trump would release the files.
President Trump is encouraging Republicans to vote for releasing the files, saying Republicans have nothing to hide, but also calls the effort a Democrat hoax. The Senate would still need to approve the measure.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. Many files have been released already as part of a House oversight investigation. Republicans and Democrats accusing each other of using the issue as a distraction. This week's expected vote coming as the Justice Department renews an investigation of people and entities with possible ties to the late sex offender. America is listening to Fox News.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Partly sunny skies this afternoon, though clouds will tend to be on the increase. It's breezy, and it's about where we should be, 59. Tonight, periods of rain, a few rumbles, 48. Tuesday, an early morning shower, otherwise partly sunny. It's warmer on Tuesday, 70 degrees. Wednesday, partly sunny, spotty showers at 63. More rain and possible thunderstorms Thursday into Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Don't freeze as it gets colder. If your furnace isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in your comfort zone fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, there's a lot of talk and chatter surrounding what's going on in the Donald Trump economy. And folks, you and I know together that there is a lot of cleanup on aisle 46 with what the Biden administration implemented. How much damage can you do in 4 years? Well, we're seeing that unfold as the president tries to clean up the mess. I think there's some hits and some misses in what the Trump administration is trying to do. And one of the first questions I want to ask our next guest, Steve Moore, the co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity, is about that 50-year mortgage. Steve Moore, welcome back to the show. Are you getting yourself a 50-year mortgage?
Hi, Annie. Good to be with you. Well, you know, I'm not a particularly big fan of that idea, but I have to let you know that because you mentioned the A word, which is affordability,
yes,
which is the buzzword these days, that, you know, I just did these numbers last night that about 87% of the inflation that people are angry about happened under guess who?
Yes. Joe Biden.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're angry when you go to the grocery store, or angry at what you're paying for beef or, corn or eggs or coffee, you can blame Biden for this. Now, the inflation rate averaged about 5.5% to 6% under Biden. We're at 2.8% now. Now, that's higher than we want, but it's still, it's still a vast improvement over what we had before. So it's just important to put that in perspective. The other thing that I think is really important to understand is that one of the things that's really driving higher costs is Obamacare and the cost of health care, where people are paying 12, 13, 14% increases in their premiums every year. My wife and I just got our statement. I don't know if you've had yours yet. Our premiums are going up 12.5% next year. So why is healthcare costs exploding? I thought the Affordable Care Act was supposed to make it more affordable.
Yeah, it's almost like when you guarantee companies that they will have customers, that the companies stop competing for the customers that they don't have to earn. Is that right?
Yep. Well, that's why you have, the Postal Service is such a bad performer. It's why, think about the schools too. Why do we tolerate schools that so underperform? Because they don't have to perform for the customers, because most people have to send their kids to the local school. So competition is a good thing. That's lacking. Most people have actually too much insurance, not too little. We'd save a lot of money as families if we paid more for it out of pocket rather than paid $35,000, $40,000 a year for premiums.
Right. Absolutely. Steve Moore speaking with us right now, the co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity. I encourage you to go to committee-to-unleashprosperity.com and sign up for the hotline there. It's something that I read and enjoy the easy to read, numbered points that people need to understand. I want to ask you to talk a little bit. Certainly the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, has talked about this a bit, but he's saying that the Q1 and Q2 of 2026, the American people are going to start to feel the benefits of what the policy successes that this administration has had. Can you explain how that's going to work?
Well, sure. In fact, we were the ones who kind of alerted the White House to this, that, if you go look at the numbers, most people did not adjust their withholding, their tax withholding this year. They could have, but most people, I didn't. I don't know about you.
No,
so that means you didn't get your tax cut this year. You'll get it starting in January of 2026 when you adjust your withholding. And when you adjust your withholding, that means you're going to get a bigger paycheck each month. So this is a great way to deal with the affordability crisis, because people are going to have more money in their paychecks, and they'll have more money to be able to, purchase everything from food to gas. By the way, gas, I don't know what you're paying there in the St. Louis area, but, a lot of places are now have a two handle, $2.89, $2.79. Yeah. So that nobody talks about that. It used to be the very, lead indicator about what's happening with inflation is what's happening with the gas price. But if you notice, the media doesn't talk about that very much anymore.
That's how you know it's doing. That's how you know it's going in the right direction. The less the media talks about it. $2.74 in the expensive gas stations downtown St. Louis. You get out into the suburbs and it goes down. You go across the river to Illinois. It certainly goes up. More blue leadership showing its hand there.
Well, this is the last point I wanted to make to you this afternoon, which is that if people are concerned about affordability and the cost of living, we just did an analysis at Unleash Prosperity. Guess which 10 states have the highest cost of living? Well, let's see. It's California, it's New York, it's New Jersey, it's Massachusetts, Rhode Island, it's Illinois, it's Connecticut. Which states have the lowest? Oh, it's states like, I think Missouri is one of the lower cost states, and then you've got states like Oklahoma, et cetera. So the red states have much lower cost of living than the blue states, because the blue states have such heavy regulations, green energy requirements, high taxes, high insurance premiums. All that stuff makes it much more expensive to live and raise a family in a blue state than a red state. So that's why people are probably smart to move over the river into St. Louis, into Missouri, than if you're on the Illinois side of the border.
Yeah, it is definitely a financial upgrade. The governor of Missouri, Governor Kehoe, now having a conversation about eliminating the income tax here in the state. So that will be enticing for a lot of people as well.
That's one of my, I keep wondering which state will be the 10th state in the country that has no income tax. And boy, that would be great if we could do that in Missouri.
Yes, certainly. Steve Moore, we always love having you on. Thanks for being with us again today.
Okay, have a great week.
You as well. Take care. Bye-bye. He is a co-founder of the Committee for Prosperity. If you want to get this email, he sends out the hotline. I have it in front of me right now. Unleash Prosperity hotline. It's just, I think, a total of 5 today, 6, 7, I don't know. 6 points on the Unleash Prosperity hotline that shows facts, numbers behind the economic conversations that people are having. I think it's a very helpful thing. It's the Unleash Prosperity hotline. I'm very much so leaning into and looking forward to that tax return being more significant than it usually is. But I'm like, I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm definitely not spending that money before I get it. But that in the first and second quarter of 2026 in a midterm year will have a huge impact on how people feel about this administration.
I mean, you're going to have a bunch more cash in your pocket, hopefully. We were running kind of some numbers just to see. We don't know exactly. Like you said, I'm not going to spend it till I know for sure. But we look like we're going to get a better tax return so far come February or whenever we actually get it.
Yeah. I mean, if you can file online, a lot of times you can get the federal one maybe within a week. Illinois takes for freaking ever. And then we here have to file in Missouri as well. I usually get a small return from Missouri, a not huge return from Illinois, and the bigger one is the federal one, of course. And I know people are like, Annie, a return is an interest-free loan to the government. Well, I do not want to get to tax time and have to owe. So that's what we're doing.
I don't know that much about the leadership of each state, but it is true that Missouri gets us back our tax returns quicker, and we don't even live there.
No, no, that's exactly right. Here's Besant.
How long will that take?
I think we are going to see a substantial acceleration in the economy in the second quarter. And I think we are also, we're already seeing on many prices, as I said, we're bending that curve down. and the increase in real incomes, I think Americans are going to feel it in the first quarter, second quarter. I think 2026, thanks to President Trump's signature plans, is going to be a great year for working Americans, for the markets. You know, I call it parallel prosperity. Main Street and Wall Street can both do great, but I think Main Street's going to have a great year in 2026.
So that's the Treasury Secretary, really the impetus behind a lot of the implementation of economic policies for the Trump administration. He spoke with great confidence. He doesn't waffle at all. If he's either going to be right or they're going to lose.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, they've got to, and they know it. They're addressing affordability. You know, I think at this moment in time, they're aware that that is the absolute top priority for Americans right now.
The word, you know, we did a poll last week on affordability, and it was after there was this kind of like rash reaction. If you can have a rash reaction to electing a socialist. Maybe it wasn't rash. Maybe it was appropriate. Maybe it wasn't enough. But, you know, the Democrats won in Democrat areas a couple Tuesdays ago. And everybody's like, oh, my gosh, this is terrible news for the midterms, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's freaking out about all of this. And I said, if you went back and listened to the tape, you could hear me say it. But I said, there aren't going to be any surprises. The Democrats are going to win these elections. We should pay attention to two things: turnout and margin of victory. And I was right. The Democrats won in all of those places. I didn't make a prediction on turnout or margin of victory because I had no idea what was going to happen. But the turnout was strong and the margin of victory was comfortable. So that to me that should make Republicans sit up in their chair and go, okay, we got to pay attention to what's going on here. Why do people who look at socialists and are too economically illiterate to understand the dangers of socialism and communism, why do they look at socialism and go, I kind of like to know more about that? It's because they don't feel as though the world they're living in is an affordable one. It's also not lost on me that you're going to find a higher propensity of people who live in hyper blue areas think that things aren't affordable, because it's not affordable to live in a place like Illinois where the supermajority of Democrats haven't ever found a tax that they don't think that they can levy against you. Or Governor J.B. Pritzker, who has Scrooge McDuck gold doubloons that he dives and swims through and bathes in every night. And then he goes and he spends $50 million, not this reelection campaign, but the one before. He put $50 million of his own dollars in his reelection campaign before he announced that he was running for reelection. I don't know what it's like to live like that. And a man like that is governing the state of Illinois, where it's one of the most unaffordable, if not the most unaffordable place to live in the country. When you factor in the cost of living and also the wages, you go to California, cost of living is outrageous, but they also make outrageous sums of money for the same jobs that you would perform in the state of Illinois. They make a lot more money. They spend a lot more money. But on the whole, Illinois is one of the most unaffordable places to live. So then you've got people who are living in these Democrat socialist strongholds going, it's unaffordable to live here. I think the government should provide me the things that I can't afford myself. You can't afford the things that you can't afford because of the government. I don't know how else to say it to make it make more sense. But when the government drives the costs of everything up because they overregulate energy and they overregulate all of the things that are trying to get from where it's manufactured to your hand or to your table or to your life, the government has to be involved in everything. It makes it cost more. It makes it difficult to be in a position as a business owner where you can provide services and provide goods to people for a price that they can afford because you're being so burdened by the over-regulatory government that can never get its hands on the means of production, the actual product that is being made. The government is insatiable in their want for more power, for more leverage, for more control. And that ends up costing you a lot more. And so then, of course, it's a never-ending cycle. It's chicken or the egg. Which came first? Unaffordability or socialistic voting tendencies that are now a mainstay in the Democrat Party? The answer is, shockingly, less government. And the Democrats They run like hell from that idea because that is the impetus for everything that they have to offer you. They want to replace fathers in the homes. They want to replace parents in the home. They want to replace the need to have a family unit that would provide for itself, like the American dream of being independent from the government and having a 3-bed, 2-bathroom house and 2.5 kids in suburbia somewhere where you can drive to your job, make enough money to afford that, maybe even make enough money to afford that on one salary because the other person in your home is doing that ever important job of raising kids where you have at least a half a kid more than you had in your house to begin with. That expands the population. All of that is being washed away. Because everything that you've ever needed, you don't have to work for it anymore. You don't have to earn it anymore. It's going to be given to you. And then you sit idly by and tell the government thank you for what they've determined that you need while you're paying for it the whole time in taxes from a job that doesn't give you enough income to provide for yourself the things that you determine that you need. Maybe even, dare I say, the things that you want. This is a vicious loop. This is how the blue states get bluer, because the people who have enough common sense and economic literacy to go, this is really stupid. Look at Missouri and Governor Kehoe over there and saying, what if we got rid of the income tax? And if you're portable, you out. You're going to Missouri. You're going to Indiana. You're going to maybe Wisconsin. You're going to Kentucky, to Tennessee, to Florida, to Texas. You're going to these places that have it figured out and serve the people, as opposed to the states like Illinois where the people serve the government. That's bass-ackwards, and people know it. People are understanding about it, but the people who have the common sense to vote it out are voting with their feet, not with their ballots. And then you have Chicago. Then you have Illinois. Then you have a socialist in New York City. Something's got to give. And I keep thinking it's got to get worse before it can get better, and I just don't see how Illinois can get much worse. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to keep fighting for it and keep calling it out. But it's a dire time. It's a dire situation we're in right now. Let's take a break. This kind of wraps into the poll question. They're so proud to support the Greater St. Louis Honor Flight and their mission to celebrate veterans with a day of honor at their nation's memorials in Washington, D.C. I went to D.C. with my son's class a couple years ago, and we happened to be getting off the plane the same time an honor flight was unloading. And it was so amazing to see this flood of veterans, some younger, some older, getting ready to spend the day being honored in a way that barely scratches the surface of what we owe them for their service. But the Greater St. Louis Honor Flight, it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And Air Comfort Service stands shoulder to shoulder in making this a possibility for St. Louisans, maybe like somebody that you know. The Greater St. Louis Honor Flight makes sure veterans get the recognition they deserve when they come home from their day of honor. All expenses are paid. There are no cost to veterans to go on this honor flight. If you're a veteran, if you know a veteran, Air Comfort Service wants to encourage you to visit gslhonorflight.org and get signed up for an upcoming honor flight. That's gslhonorflight.org. And if you want to partner with Air Comfort Service for your HVAC needs, of course, go to aircomfortservice.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome to Coffee House. How are you today?
Hi, great, thanks. May I get a sea salt caramel latte with almond milk, extra caramel, extra shot, iced,
gross,
and to go, please. Did you get all that?
No, I was just ringing you up for all the extras. Can you repeat your order, please?
Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna go.
Stop paying extra for extras. Get fancy coffee without the fancy coffee price at Quick Trip. Raise your coffee bar.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
With conviction and clarity, The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Waiting for the time to pass you by. Hope the winds of change will change your mind. I could give 1,000 reasons why, and I know you, and you've got to make it on your own. But we don't.
Number of men, I didn't realize this till I read the book, the percentage who live at home still, live with their parents. What are those numbers?
It's about 30% of men under the age of 25. 1 in 3 are still at home. 1 in 5 are still at home by the age of 30. So, yeah.
Is that economic or emotional or both?
Yes, it's men aren't. I mean, effectively, what you have is they're up against this indomitable enemy, and that is 20% or 40% of the S&P is now 10 companies whose primary mission is to get you as glued to a screen for as long as possible. Any minute they can keep you on a screen longer is billions of dollars. And a young man's brain, which prefrontal cortex is less mature, is more susceptible to that need for dopa. So what we've literally done, Bill, is unwittingly built an economy which is dependent upon our ability to evolve a new species of asocial, asexual males. And what you have is big tech, who is not our friend, is trying to sequester people, especially young men, from the most important thing in their life, and that is relationships.
So there you have Scott Galloway on with Bill Maher, and he is the author of a book that I guess is kind of a popular book, maybe, but he's talking about how men have lost kind of their way in society. And I think that it's really a key important thing to understand that this is not just a man thing, but it is absolutely a man thing, in my opinion. And we're going to get your comments throughout the course of the show. Our YouTube poll for today is, are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? And I'll just ask broadly on this particular issue. We can dive deeper on some of the other points later in the show in the 2 o'clock hour. But how devastating is the fact that your screen that you have can service most needs that the brain thinks that it has. And if you limit men with a mental capacity and like impulse to pursue, men are usually pursuers. If you take away the need to pursue, does that have bigger consequences than, 1 in 5 men that are 30 years old still living at home?
Yes. Huge consequences. In fact, one of the ways that I was going to interpret the poll is not just socially, because that seems like the natural way we talk about it socially, what's men's role in society, but physiologically, men are changing. Our testosterone levels as a nation are dropping. Our sperm count is dropping. These are tested metrics that have been used. And you can look it up for yourself. Since about 2000, they just drop. Even for younger men, when they account for age. And it's because of these kind of things. Men are less mobile, that we're just doing less. I mean, overall, I think society's just doing less. But it is a huge problem when men are not doing the things that society needs from men, even because of physiological reasons.
Joe comments on the Annie Fry YouTube channel on this poll, which we encourage you to go vote and tell us if you're concerned that men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society. Joe said, it's not a terrible thing to get a little feminized, but you have to remain true to your own nature, maybe a little empathy. Wonder how you guys feel about that. You can respond to that in the Annie Fry YouTube chat when you go vote. We'll continue to discuss this poll with your thoughts included on the YouTube chat. Our response options are yes, it's already lost. Yes, but it's correctable, or no, it's not a real issue. Will Chamberlain's going to join us when we come back. He's the senior counsel at the Article 3 Project, at Will Chamberlain, article3project.org. And we're going to talk to him about Epstein files and the legalese behind what is being released, what isn't being released. How do these things need to be processed? Is there a real story that is being withheld from the American people? And is Donald Trump a part of it? We'll be right back with Will Chamberlain next. Well, the sparkly things are out and shining at the Diamond Shop, and I hope that you are making your way over to the Diamond Shop in Clayton to look at some of the beautiful things, maybe for someone very, very special this holiday season. Hey, maybe that someone special is you. I'm not here to judge. Are you looking for a beautiful set of diamond stud earrings? Maybe an engagement set to pop a question, a very important question throughout the course of this holiday season. Maybe you're shopping for him and you know that it's been a great year for you, or maybe you want to mark a special occasion, or maybe his watch just broke and you want to get him something nice to replace it. All of these types of pieces, you can find unique, beautiful, incredible quality jewelry pieces, fine jewelry pieces at the Diamond Shop in Clayton. If you go online to thediamondshop.net, you can sign up to become a VIP. You get extra offers, heads up on sales, those types of things. It's simple. It takes less than a minute to sign up to be a Diamond Shop VIP. I'm a VIP, and I'd love for you as well to do that and go through that process. They do custom jewelry and watch repair appraisals. They even buy gold. Everything you need to know about the Fry family jeweler at the Diamond Shop, online at thediamondshop.net.
Have you set your appointment up yet to have your furnace checked to make sure you are good and ready to go for this winter? It's really, really a great idea to have it done for your own peace of mind and for your safety also. Definitely check your furnace before you use it. You can go to my website. It's bartinman.com, and we'll have pictures up of what we've seen and what we've seen and found that the homeowners had no clue that this danger existed. Most have no idea what I'm talking about now, but if you went to the website, if you're not going to have me come out or another company come out and check, then you'll know what to look for on your furnace and hot water heater also. So my number, again, it's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest number, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com, Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
We have an awesome event to give you tickets to possibly in about an hour. It's Guns N' Hoses, and it is next Wednesday night, the day before Thanksgiving. If you've never been, this is a great chance to get some free tickets and attend Guns N' Hoses. It's a lot of fun. So stay tuned. We'll give those away at between 2:30 and 2:40. So come back for that or just stay here. Of course, Guns N' Hoses is coming up November 26th. The time right now is 1:32. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Born in the Midwest, built on common sense. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. A beautiful Monday here in St. Louis. We're grateful that you're spending a little bit of your time with us. We're going to be joined right now by one of my favorite guests that we have, Will Chamberlain, once again, senior counsel at the Article 3 Project on X at Will Chamberlain. Will, welcome back. Good to have you here.
Always good to be with you, Amy.
So I want to just wide open the question to you about Epstein files. I had on Ryan Schmelz, he's a Capitol Hill correspondent with Fox News earlier, and I'm like, what even are the Epstein files? Everybody wants them, but I'm not even 100% sure I know what they would be should they be released. And once again, we have a kind of a media illusion that is driven by politicians who are trying to tell you a whole bunch about what is there. Then we get whatever they are. And what they said was there was not there, but nobody cares about reporting that. With the Epstein file conversation taking place right now, what are you wanting to see and what are you looking for in the release of these should we actually get them?
I mean, I have a hard time caring about this. And it's maybe sound weird because it's like, obviously, Epstein was a complete cretin. But I don't think there's anything in the files. That's my guess. That's my prediction. There's not going to be anything serious in the files that will reveal criminality on the part of third parties. And the reason I say that is twofold. Where everybody is extremely invested in the release of files that I guess would have started being generated in the late 2000s and would have stopped being generated in 2019 when Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. In that time, Epstein's victims have sued Epstein and won major judgments from Epstein's estate. They've been represented by some of the best law firms in the country, the best plaintiffs' law firms. David Boies, the plaintiff's lawyer who beat Microsoft in the antitrust trial, late 90s, early 2000s. So well-funded, competent lawyers, and there's been nothing in terms of third parties. So I don't think it exists, and I think if it did, moreover, all these victims are still here. Why haven't any of them could speak up and say, yeah, that guy is the guy who assaulted me, and yet none of them do. And so I start with the assumption that if there's not even a victim willing to go on the record and say this person assaulted me, that there's not going to be some, smoking gun file from all these investigations that reveals something to that effect, because they could just say so now with enormous public support and political support behind them to try and go after somebody who worked with Epstein to abuse them.
Yeah, you talk about that enormous public support. I would almost challenge that just on the fact, the hypocrisy of the left in the reason why the Epstein files are of import to them is because they think that they can hang something on Donald Trump. And the reason why I feel like the hypocrisy is just absolutely nauseating from the left is because we have Kristi Noem and her department, Homeland Security, and Kash Patel finding trafficked children all across the United States right now who have been a part of intentional human trafficking that the government under Joe Biden's administration has laid open the red carpet for people to come in and do the very things that Jeffrey Epstein has been found guilty of, accused of, whatever it might be. And the only issue that matters to these people on the left is whether or not it connects Donald Trump. That is beyond repulsive to me. And I wonder how many people would be collectively behind, the revelations that might come from whatever the Epstein files might reveal. For, I think, probably 30% of this country, if it doesn't touch Trump, they don't care.
Yeah, it's. I don't think they'd be interested in it. I mean, I'd be shocked if there's anything implicating Trump at all. The email release, and this is very different from the Epstein files, right? The recent email release the Democrats put out, that's all a product of James Comer's investigation into the Epstein matter. They subpoenaed the estate for the contents of his email account. All that revealed was that Epstein hated Trump, that he was like any other deranged resist liberal who wanted, the funny thing is they did some stat where they said Trump's name appears in his emails more than anybody else. It's like, yeah, as in criticism, because the guy, like every other MSNBC liberal, was obsessed with Trump in the same way that the word Trump appears in MSNBC more than it does anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's clear that Epstein hated Trump. Moreover, I think the big thing people need to realize is that, Trump ran for president twice. He's been running for president or been involved in politics since 2015. And the Biden administration was in charge of the federal government for 4 years and had every incentive to release derogatory information about President Trump and didn't on this subject. So the idea, and trust me, they would have found it. If they had it, they would have released it. They were willing to go with completely false narratives. Imagine if they actually had something true, what it would have done. So there's not going to be anything derogatory about President Trump. You can bank on that.
Yeah, they would have found it if it were there. They would have manufactured it if they thought they could get away with it. We've seen them certainly in the deep state doing that very kind of thing. I want to ask you, because I know that you weighed in on this a little bit. I find it super annoying to tune into X. I'm going through my weekend, riding the Polar Express at St. Louis Union Station with my family, having a great time, dipping back into X to see what's going, X2C, just to be clear for the people at home listening. What's going on in the world? And X is melting down intra-party. We've got Marjorie Taylor Greene, going, in my opinion, off the reservation, and she's now fighting with Donald Trump. We've got a lot of infighting, a lot of it centered around Israel, that issue, of course. And meanwhile, the Democrats should still be the target of the Republican Party at all. It's the Big Ten party, at least it is right now. Maybe it won't be after all these fights get resolved. What do you make of the dissension that takes place among the different factions of the Republican Party? And is it a real tangible thing that's going to have an effect maybe on the midterms, or is it just something that exists in timelines and social media feeds?
If it continues, it'll have an effect. I think there are two big dynamics at play. First, things are actually going pretty well for the country, honestly. They're going too well for the podcasters. Podcasters do better when things are going poorly and there's more to complain about. There's the content maw must be fed. So the podcasters are kind of creating intra-party drama in order to juice their ratings. Maybe not intentionally, but that's sort of their incentives pull them in that direction. Second thing is the left isn't on X as much anymore. They're over at Blue Sky in their own little bubble, but it means that we aren't fighting with them so much as we're fighting with ourselves because there's fewer of them on the platform. And then finally, you just have some people who are really angry about and have personal vindictiveness. Like Massey has a personal beef with Trump. That much is obvious. So does MTG. I mean, MTG, the thing to understand about her, she's been counter signaling the president aggressively at every turn. A few months ago, when President Trump was trying to be really aggressive on immigration enforcement, she went on a podcast and talked about how we need to be careful with H-1Bs, blah, 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 blah. Now that President Trump put out a statement about, we do need to keep some H-1Bs, she puts out a bill saying, let's get rid of them all. So she's just trying to take the opportunity to counter signal. Why? Because she wanted to be a senator or a governor in the state of Georgia, and President Trump said no, that he wouldn't endorse her for it because she'd lose. So I think, you have, and then Massey has his own set of ridiculous drama. I think it'd be nice if everybody would just get on board with the most effective Republican administration of my lifetime.
Yeah.
And stop letting personal beefs get in the way. I mean, the thing that Massey did that really annoyed me was yesterday he said that anybody who doesn't vote with him on his bill is covering up for pedophiles. You don't know that. There's a lot of reasons why you have to think hard about the federal government releasing investigative files and outside of the process of a prosecution and court filings. We don't want a DOJ that's just randomly investigating people and releasing derogatory information about them, because think about the power that gives any administration. So there are legitimate reasons and concerns and things to worry about, in terms of the precedent you're setting, in terms of what might happen to third parties who, there's some derogatory hearsay, but there's no other evidence. It would never get indicted, but they get, they suddenly their life is ruined by something that wouldn't, just doesn't even meet the sniff test, but it's used as something that people can seize on. There's just a lot of reasons why you might not release those files. That said, if President Trump thinks we should, I'm going to defer to him. That was always my attitude. I would defer to people I trust, like Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and President Trump. So if they think releasing the files is in the best interest of the country, very well. But I was very, very frustrated by the people who suggested that anybody who might disagree with them is covering for pedophiles. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I just am, I'm in the business of media, and yes, I hope to be informative, maybe even persuasive in certain instances on my radio show. But I do know that I have an element of entertainment that is involved here. And I say that regularly to my listeners, because everywhere else that you're listening to, they have to inject some entertainment level, something that brings you back. It invokes emotion. And for a lot of that, it might be anger. It might be fear. It might be, it's not just the left that does that. I see it on the right as well. I hear people, we're 10 months into this administration right now, and people are like, where are the arrests? You're a senior counsel at the Article 3 Project. How quickly can you go out and arrest they want orange jumpsuits and, handcuffs and all of that, the perp walk. I don't want that unless it's a airtight case. And I don't know that you can do that in 10 months. You probably know a little bit better than I.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing it in some cases. I mean, James Comey is under arrest and under indictment. Letitia James is under arrest and under indictment. You can expect probably Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell are soon going to be under arrest and under indictment for mortgage fraud. That's not bad. People need to understand how hard it is to get appointees through, how the Democrats' obstruction prevented the Republicans from getting their people in place. And even when they get their people in place, they're dealing with the entrenched bureaucracy of the Department of Justice, which is full of people who are not aligned with the president. So it's not instant. People need to give it a second, wait a second. But I think you will see more coming, especially from Florida, where Jason Redding-Quinones is now the U.S. attorney in the Southern District of Florida. He's a close friend of Mike Davis, and their grand jury's been impaneled. I expect a lot to come out of that.
Yeah, certainly. We're speaking with Will Chamberlain, senior counsel at the Article 3 Project. Please follow him on X at Will Chamberlain, article3project.org. I think about the difference between governing and campaigning. It is a very different entity. And I keep asking myself, okay, we're 10 months into the America First agenda being the primary policy, foundation. Where am I looking at President Trump, what he promised to the people who he asked to vote for him? Where has he completely gone back on those promises? Has he delivered on all of them? He's delivered on a lot of them in 10 months. Are you seeing any contradictions in what the president, then candidate Donald Trump, said he wanted to do with the America First mentality, the Make America Great Again mentality? Are you seeing conflicts in what he said he wanted to do and what he's delivering?
No, he's delivering. You go back and read the 20-point platform that he put out at the RNC. He's going after every single thing on that list. Top of the list was securing the border and funding the largest mass deportation operation in American history. It's taken a while to get the deportation machine going for a similar reason. You hire, get a bunch of money through the One Big Beautiful Bill, hire a bunch of people, get everybody in line. It takes, building an organization doesn't happen instantly, and you're dealing with an entrenched bureaucracy already. But he's working on, he's doing a lot. Peace deals everywhere, stopping woke. He made Colombia and Penn bend the knee. He's brought peace to the Middle East, prevented Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. He's done so much in 11 months. It's really, really remarkable. And the people who are complaining, saying, oh, he's not meeting his agenda, they're usually doing the trick where they pretend that their agenda was the Trump agenda. So that's Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie is pretending that the Epstein files and balancing the budget was the MAGA agenda. That's not true. It's not. Neither of those things is in the platform. Neither of them. I mean, he's talked about wanting a balanced budget. So has every Republican politician ever. But if you actually look at what is he invested in, what does he actually list as, this is our platform, this is what we will do, he's doing those things.
Yeah.
And so, if Thomas Massie wants to implement his platform, then he should run for president. But Donald Trump ran for president and won. He has the mandate of the electorate. And the libertarian, I'm really quite tired of the libertarians pretending that their agenda is the MAGA agenda. They are not the same. There are some places of overlap, but they are not the same thing. And certainly the emphasis is very different, because the emphasis is on immigration restriction and reindustrialization. It's not necessarily on balancing the budget.
We're speaking with Will Chamberlain here. I heard, I think it was Kayleigh McEnany interviewed James Carville. A lot of people go back to James Carville for Democrat, the old sage wisdom of James Carville. I don't know how successful he's been over the career that he's had, but certainly at one time he was the guy. He's saying if the Democrats get back in charge, nuke the filibuster, add the states, D.C. and Puerto Rico and whatever, pack the cord. I mean, you've got a leader in what I consider to be probably a little bit more of a moderate voice, at least policy-wise. He approaches it in a less communist way, like the far left progressive wing of the Democrat Party, but he's saying ridiculous things that the Democrats should do should they get the levers of power once again. What do you advise the Republicans to do when you hear things like pack the court, add the states, that type of stuff?
I mean, I think if we get the votes to do it, the thing you should do is you should basically, have a two-pronged thing where you, on the one hand, have legislation packing the court in advance. And then on the other hand, you offer a constitutional amendment setting the number of justices at 9. You say, like, we expect you to sign, we agree to this, to agree to the status quo, to agree that there shouldn't be games being played with the Supreme Court. And if you will not agree to that, then we're going to pack the court. Like, then we're going to make it so that we get everything we want. Might as well, you know, like maybe we'll have a court that invalidates every future election. Like, well, what do we care? I mean, at that point, like there has to be some investment from the Democrats in maintaining the current structure of our government. They get really, one of the things I find really obnoxious about Democrats is they sort of don't really care that much about our constitutional settlement. They're like, oh, it's not democratic enough. We need to change it. And I'm like, what that actually means is we don't have enough power in the system. We want to change it so we have more power. Okay, if we're changing the system, why can't we change it so we have more power? Actually, why don't we change it so we can exclude you from power? Because that's what you're trying to do to us.
Do you support
so
nuking the filibuster?
Maybe the settlement's worth something in terms of keeping the peace.
Should the Republicans do what Trump says and get rid of the filibuster in the Senate?
I mean, I think it's immaterial because they just don't have the votes. I think they're missing 4 or 5 votes. They're not going to get McConnell. They're not going to get Susan Collins. They're not going to get Lisa Murkowski. They're not going to get Tom Tillis. So they just can't. All 4 of those people either Murkowski and Collins are sort of invulnerable to whatever Trump does. Like they just have their own unique situations in Maine and Alaska. And then Collins and Tillis and McConnell just don't like Trump and aren't going to just do what he wants.
Do you think the Democrats have the votes to do it if they get the majority?
Yes, they do.
Crap.
I think so.
That's not good. All right.
No.
Well, I guess it's a moot point for the Republicans at this juncture. But
they'd probably lose Fetterman. That's it. They'd probably lose Fetterman. That's the only one.
Will, you're a charm to have on here every time. We appreciate you. Thank you for the time once again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Again, we'll do it soon. Thanks. Will Chamberlain, the senior counsel at the Article 3 Project, at Will Chamberlain on X. He seems to be level-headed on his X feed. So if you've got a lot of people freaking out, just follow him on X so that you can balance things out. And then, of course, decide for yourself. We're big fans of thinking for ourselves here on the Andy Fry Show. Quick break. When we come back, a little more discussion on that YouTube poll. Have you voted yet? Are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? We'll be right back. So Lutheran schools across the region here, the Lutheran Elementary School Association, 34 elementary schools for you to choose from. You can find one that suits your needs. And I'll tell you this, the Lutheran schools around here, they are not all the same. It's not like if you go to one, you've gone to them all. There are a lot of unique characteristics about each one of them. And when you're thinking about an alternative to the education system you have right now, Lutheran schools might be the answer you've been looking for. They have tuition assistance available for you as well. Parents and grandparents, consider the alternative and maybe touring a school. Maybe you want to switch a semester. Maybe you are thinking about moving out of homeschooling. Maybe you're somebody who knows how valuable Lutheran education has been to you, to your family, and you want to bless somebody here in the St. Louis bi-state region with the opportunity to once again have a Lutheran education employed. You can donate to the Annie Fry Show Lutheran Scholarship. Did you know we have one? It's got over $27,000 in an endowed scholarship. I would love for you to participate in that and help that grow so we can bless more kids in the area. If you want to know about financial help, if you want to know about the schools that are available to you, if you want to know anything, even how to make a donation, go to lisastl.org.
Support our first responders at the 38th Budweiser Guns N' Hoses, presented by Stiefel, Thanksgiving Eve at Enterprise Center. Go to gunsandhoses.com to get your tickets today. The best holiday party in St. Louis. It's go time.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Oh, my baby look good in them blue jeans, tied on the top with a belly button ring, a little tattoo somewhere in between. She only shows to me.
The second worst thing to happen to young people is remote work. 1 in 3 relationships begin at work. This is where you find friends, mentors, and mates, and especially young men need the guardrails of a workplace. But in my view, the worst thing that's happened to young people is the anti-alcohol movement. I've had Huberman on, who I'm a big fan of, and Attia on, and my point is that the risks to your 25-year-old liver are dwarfed by the risk of social isolation. In sum, think of all the amazing relationships you've had in your life and be honest. Did alcohol play a role? In sum, get out, drink more, and make a series of bad decisions that might pay off.
Yeah. Okay, Bill Maher is like, my guy. Of course, listening to Scott Galloway there talk about men and the effect that our society today, the things that have been adopted in society, how it is affecting men across the board. Our poll for today is, are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? Yes, it's already lost. Yes, but it's correctable, or no, it's not a real issue. Ender says on the YouTube chat, I voted the second option, but true answer is no. I don't think it's an issue. They're not losing those traits, but they're being repressed by themselves due to pressure, society, and the media. Vicky said, yes, it's already lost. On most urban men, rural men don't lose those traits. So they're saying Vicky's saying it's regional. She might be right. It might be the culture that you surround yourself in, the society you surround yourself in. But, I mean, do you look around? I don't know. You talk to me about advertisements that you get, because you can always tell the pulse of society based on what they think, what marketing companies think they need to do to sell you something, to get you to want something.
Most of my stuff in my algorithm, it almost doesn't seem like it's product-based so much as it is just wants my attention. And so they put a lot of videos about, well, middle-aged men experience this or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute now. I'm not quite there, but they're trying to get me. And then
you are absolutely a middle-aged man.
No, I'm not.
I'm a middle-aged woman, and you're older than me.
I don't believe that, though. That's what matters. And then the other videos that I get a lot of that really are just, they're trying to pull you in so you spend time watching them, is women, not like anything pornographic, but they're definitely showing stuff. They're talking about subjects.
It's gateway porn.
It's kind of that. Yeah, it's real close.
They're talking about something, but the focus of the video is not on the something. It's on the somethings.
Yeah. Or if it is on the topic, it's on that topic.
Are you still being served content? Are you still being served ads? I mean, sex sells. And the problem, okay, I would think that if the marketing firms and the boardrooms still think that, to talk about a conversation from last week, a nice spice rack might still sell the goods on whatever the thing is, I would think, okay, those carnal impulses that men have are still in play. But the problem is that the execution of that is often a digital sex life. Just you can be fully engrossed and held hostage by a life addicted to pornography. That is so incredibly devastating to young men, to middle-aged men, to old men. It's devastating on a huge, huge swath of issues. And I think that it's way, way, way more common than anybody wants to talk about.
It's way more common among men in church than men in church are willing to talk about. So you got to go to a church that's willing to talk about it.
Which is the only place that you're probably actually going to hear people say, yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah, because nowhere else other than maybe the Annie Fry Show is going to talk about this issue.
I bring it up a lot because I'm raising a son. I know what the world is trying to do to get out to get them. And I feel like if the less we talk about it, the more runway it has.
Yeah, you have to talk about it. And if you don't, you're just sort of giving it breeding ground to grow. Because honestly, a lot of times what it takes, guys, is you hearing somebody else go, stop.
I have this problem and I stopped it and it changed my life.
Yeah, consider that it's something you want to get away from.
314-241-9797 if you want to text us about these issues. I would like to continue this conversation after the break. We're going to talk about men being men, and is it waning? at this point in society. Go vote in the YouTube chat. Leave us a comment. Text us at 314-241-9797.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Have you been looking at your basement and identifying, oh gosh, this is an issue? Or when we moved in, they said something about this, but it has gotten a lot worse here in the last few years. Have Matt Hayes come out and look at the basement situation you're facing. 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636 for all of your foundational issues. Whether you have water in your basement, you've got cracks, maybe they're new cracks or cracks that have grown. You want to make sure that those issues don't become incredibly more expensive to fix because you postponed the inevitable. 314-227-9636. Matt Hayes, with decades of experience of foundation repair, will come to your home and give you a customized response to your needs so that you can make sure that the project is going to be done right, it's going to be reliable, and he'll stand by it after the fact. 314-227-9636. Find him online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A change in deployment. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Some National Guard troops sent to cities as part of a federal crackdown are being sent back to their home states.
Fox News confirms that 200 California National Guard troops sent to Portland and the 200 Texas National Guard troops here in Chicago are withdrawing in the coming days from their federal protection missions and returning to their home states. We're also told some 200 Texas National Guard soldiers will be on standby for any needed movement.
Fox's Jeff Manasso, some California troops also on standby, and in Illinois and Oregon, Guard members will remain activated in their own states. Some Guard members, that is. Latest immigration enforcement operation is underway in Charlotte, where there have been protests, and Homeland Security reports more than 100 arrests in the first 2 days. In Florida, a joint operation is rescuing children.
More than 120 children believed to have been kidnapped, trafficked, and abused by gangs, cartels, and others have been rescued by local, state, and federal law enforcement in Florida in what's being called Operation Home for the Holidays. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer says the suspects won't be treated kindly.
Here in Florida, our prosecutors, if you hurt our kids, we will go after you to the absolute fullest. We will lock you up for as long as possible, and where eligible, we will seek the death penalty.
He adds it's the largest child rescue operation in the country's history, and more efforts to recover trafficked children are ongoing.
Fox's Evan Brown in Miami. An Indiana homeowner homeowner accused of killing a house cleaner who went to the wrong house is now charged with voluntary manslaughter. Kurt Anderson could face up to 30 years in prison if convicted. Police say the woman killed was an immigrant from Guatemala, part of a cleaning crew that showed up at the wrong location. Officers found her dead on the man's front porch after reportedly being shot through the front door. America is listening to Fox News.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Partly sunny skies this afternoon, though clouds will tend to be on the increase. It's breezy, and it's about where we should be, 59. Tonight, periods of rain, a few rumbles, 48. Tuesday, an early morning shower, otherwise partly sunny. It's warmer on Tuesday, 70 degrees. Wednesday, partly sunny, spotty showers and 63. More rain and possible thunderstorms Thursday into Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're glad you're here. YouTube poll for today, and I want to open the floor to some of the comments from the Annie Fry YouTube chat. Also from the text line, if you'd like to text us your thoughts on this question, you can respond at 314-241-9797. Ryan reads those, and we'll feature some of them on the air. 314-241-9797. The poll is, are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? The responses in our poll are yes, it's already lost, yes, but it's correctable, or no, it's not a real issue. Ryan, what do you think about men and their ability to continue being men in the way society needs them to be?
Socially speaking, yes, it's correctable. We have lost something in this generation because we've just tamped down so many male instinct personality traits and things like that.
Do you think our generation of millennials is a part of the generation that has been pulling away from is the word what is masculine? Masculinity, is that what we've lost? Is that a way to sum it up, or is that not specific enough or too specific?
That's probably a good word for it. I don't know that it's all encompassing, but it is something that we have. I'll put it this way. Even if it's not somebody yelling about toxic masculinity and wearing nose rings and coloring their hair purple and going out in the street and protesting, it's just something that we haven't valued in a generation.
Yeah.
So regardless of the sort of super crazy protests against whatever they think masculinity is, it's just something that we've really highlighted the best parts of femininity and tried to empower women, basically because we've gone through an entire generation. It's our age that have gone through it, I think, the most, that have decided we want to basically get away from every traditional trend possible. And that's one of them.
To break normal.
We want to break every norm from the generation before us and the generation before them. And a lot of that comes with some serious social side effects This is one of those. Now we're seeing the other side of it where there is a pendulum swing back the other way. I do believe that's happening. But you have to talk about something that was so natural before that you didn't really have to address it. It just was. Now you have to address it and say, these are good characteristics. These are bad characteristics. It's okay to feel like this if you're a guy, which guys naturally don't want to do anyway. We don't want to have those conversations. Now we have to.
What kind of conversations?
Important ones. Emotional ones. And I mean about your emotions, not emotional conversations.
So, okay. So let's parse this out in like a timeline here, because I would say millennials, who most people suggest millennials are born from like 80 to 2000. And depending on the Google search that you want to serve your own purposes, which is usually people who are born close to that. I'm born in 84. I may have seen one thing that suggests that 84 isn't a millennial, but most of the time it refers to them as zennials. So like the in between, there's like a 4 or 5 year timeline that talks about the group of us that are lumped in with the millennial generation, but we really grew up completely without the internet. I grew up completely in my childhood. I think I was maybe 13 or 14 when internet finally made it into our house. And even then throughout entire high school and really into for me, the internet in college was a way to email and AOL chat. It was really a communication source. It wasn't really an information source at that time. We weren't allowed to use internet sources in college papers.
Yeah, we weren't either.
Like if you brought the word Wikipedia into a college classroom, they'd set you on fire.
Hopefully they still do with Wikipedia.
I don't know. But for millennials, I feel like on the whole, millennials inherited the results of these types of civil rights, if you will, battles that took place before us, whether it was like a women's movement or, the way that the civil rights with racial disparities, that type of thing. There haven't been. Our millennial generation hasn't really fought for anything like that. We've kind of been told this is how it is now. And for me as a female, I remember growing up, and I've talked about this before. Like I'd get shirts. I was always into sports. I was always an athlete, and I'd get shirts that say something like "Girls do it too," and it has like a basketball on it, or "Throws like a girl," and it's got a softball on it. That type of stuff. There was a big emphasis when I was growing up in the 90s about like girl power, essentially. But then in my 20s, and maybe which would have been like the 19 or the 20 teens or whatever, it turned into a man-hating thing, a denigrating of men thing. And I think the idea of political correctness really spurred probably in the, would you say, mid to late 90s is when political correctness started to get some traction or whatever. But it was still something that, like, when political correctness came around, it still was made fun of.
Yeah.
But we're coming out now on the other end of where political correctness started to get its ascent. It was made fun of, but then it became mainstream. And then we jumped so far on the other end of political correctness that we got into cancel culture, which was like the proverbial capital T they, whomever they are, can cancel you at any given time if the mob is mad enough. And that made it scary for people to be individual, to be who you are intrinsically, for men to be men, for women to be women, for men to want to do man things. Of like a very specific example is Jimmy Kimmel of today was on The Man Show, and he would do gross things that were just basically the simple urges of men in comedy. And now he's Jimmy Kimmel, the one that our kids would, well, not necessarily our kids, but that college kids would know today. They would not even be able to reconcile that with The Man Show, Jimmy Kimmel.
Right.
If men are left to their, like, what are male impulses? What is intrinsically, biologically male?
I mean, just sex, protection, and I don't mean in the sexual sense. I shouldn't have said those back to back. Achievement, respect, the desire for respect. I'm struggling to come up with more. There's lots more, but those are the ones that come to mind immediately.
Well, when you talk about like achievement, it's not just achieving, it's building something,
Yeah.
making something better than what it was before. There's an innate desire among men, and in me at least, and I assume in you, Ryan, to create something, not just achieve something, but like you write, and that I think that comes from your innate desire to create something, to build something. For me, that manifests in a different way, whether it be restoring cars or mowing grass or something like that. But that desire there is there. I think you're right in the desire for finding a mate and sex and that sort of thing. But also the protection. Then you want to build a family and then have, you have a built-in just, it's not even like if you heard something in the middle of the night, there's no doubt in your mind that you're getting up to go see what that is because you're not going to let whatever that is harm your family. It's like not even a second thought. You're just out of bed. What is it? Let me go get it.
Yeah.
And
some of those, they can be used in the wrong ways.
They can.
I mean, certainly the sex one, you just talked about the man show. It's funny because the debate used to be, well, what should men do with those impulses? Should they do it for this? And it was kind of this back and forth of right and wrong with those impulses. Now we debate, should men have those impulses, which is a ridiculous debate.
And one of the things about this, especially with the divergent way with which our, air quotes, normalized society looks at sex. Let me look at the word here, deviance.
Webster's defines deviance.
The fact or state of departing from usual or accepted standards, especially in social or sexual behavior. And the reason why I wanted to look up what deviance means is because if you're going to deviate from something, there's something that is normal. You deviate, you go one way or the other. Like you could deviate from the norm and live a very pure life. And that would be a deviance of the normal secular way of approaching sex in our culture today. And you could also deviate from the norm and use the word in a kind of pejorative way and be like, if somebody was a deviant, you're not like, oh, thank you. That's me. If you deviate, you're moving away from the norm. The Oxford Language Dictionary says the fact or state of departing from usual or accepted standards, especially in social or sexual behavior. I think that in religious culture that there has been a suppressed level of communication about where sex is in society, that it is a good thing, it is a God-given thing, it is important for the future of humanity that sex be looked at and acknowledged in a way that is incredibly important and incredibly good. But it's important to also compare the way that sex can be enjoyed in the safest possible way is the most abhorred way to talk about it societally. The thing that is out there in front of us right now, everything is a deviation from the idea that you would find one person, the traditional view of finding one person that you want to build a life with and procreate with and live your new life together with somebody else in a way that insulates and protects this new family that you've created, that become your most impulsive act for men and for women alike. And guess what? They do it in very different ways, both of which are incredibly important in order for furthering the human race. It can be lumped into this sort of religious conversation, like, oh, keep your Bible out of my bedroom or whatever. Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying that even scientifically speaking, sex is safest when monogamy is practiced. It just is. And I think that the impulse, it's if you do study the Bible, if you're a Christian or a non-Christian who's read the Bible, sex is absolutely foundationally at the major downfalls in most of the biblical stories. So obviously, it is an urge that is in humans, specifically in men. And if men and women both had the same sort of sexual urge, this would not function the way it needed to be. There needs to be somebody pursuing and somebody managing, and that's kind of the scientific biological way. But if you remove the value of procreation being connected with sex, then you have kind of a societal foundational question that you have to answer. If sex is no longer for the purpose of procreation, And I'm not saying that every time that sex is engaged in that it has to be for the purpose of procreation. That's what porn is. It's the way to satisfy every urge that you have without ever having the risk of procreation. And if you remove the fact that another person has to be involved in that, relationships across the board deteriorate. Urges can be satisfied without any sort of effort, zero effort to be made in order to pursue something that would be more valuable than the self act of, engaging in some sort of pornography. I really think that when you listen to what the clips that we've played so far with Scott Galloway talking on Bill Maher, that you have to acknowledge the biological specificity of what men are impulsive to do, to pursue, to engage in, to attempt to achieve. You have to look at all those things, and you have to agree that that's when men are at their healthiest, that they have these natural impulses. And then if you acknowledge that those natural impulses belong to men, and again, we could have a whole separate conversation about impulses that women have. It's not that it's not important, and it's not that I don't think that femininity has been completely screwed over, mostly by women, in the past few decades. But specific to men, how quickly does society fall apart into an irrecoverable level? Elon Musk is always talking about our population problem. People are talking about the green people, the greenies out there have always said that we have an overpopulation problem. We have a real issue with people postponing starting families. Men can start a family in their 50s. Women cannot. And if men are not pursuing women, those families aren't being started. We have a real societal issue. And I don't think you can address any of it without addressing the fact that men and women are biologically, factually, scientifically different people, and the urges that they have, while natural, need to be fed and contained in a healthy way in order for society to continue to function.
I'm going to read a couple of very interesting comments here. The first one is from Timothy. He says, beer is how we were able to socialize. It was a lubricant that allowed us to bond with other men with the ability to talk to women. Joe says, porn is a killer of our generation. I think simultaneously this comment came in from Mark. It says, Pornhub has ruined an entire generation. And then from our text line, kind of a long comment here, but I'm going to read it. It says, the introduction of the metrosexual man in the early 2000s started a trend of feminization in men. Sadly, women cozied up to that idea of the man who could be controlled, and the woman would have the upper hand in the relationship with finances, raising of children, and even sex. This has been detrimental to relationships and the raising of young men in that environment, mostly raised from a female perspective and not from the viewpoint of a strong father figure. That's all one text.
And that's a chicken and the egg thing too, because if you remove the father from the home, I mean, think about the removal of the father from the home. Fatherhood, the absence of fathers, is such an important problem that we need to solve. When society says that fathers can sleep around, have sex, make babies, and not stick around to help them, and then they are raised by women in the home, women who probably don't feel great about men in their lives for obvious reasons, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I think it's a real concern that we have to have, and I was glad that Scott Galloway was having that conversation with Bill Maher. Let's talk to Ethan Sports and Local, next on the Annie Frey Show.
Let me go on. Big hands, I know you're the one.
If you haven't yet, start your Christmas shopping at the Diamond Shop. You'll be glad you did. They're wonderful people. This family-owned and operated business at the Diamond Shop, they listen. That's really a key selling point. And I know that seems pretty basic, Annie. If you're walking into a jewelry store and you have a budget in mind, if you're new to shopping for, beautiful, fine jewelry, you walk in, it might be a little intimidating. If you're somebody who's been around the block, you're going to know the second you walk into the Diamond Shop that these are your people. They understand the ability to listen to you, look at what you're searching for, look at the problem you're maybe trying to solve, maybe a family heirloom that you're trying to transform or clean or appraise or whatever, and a budget. Everybody's got a budget. The Diamond Shop is going to work to earn your business. And they've done that for years and years, century even, since 1910 here in St. Louis. The Diamond Shop has been delivering and over-delivering time and time again, and the holiday season is no different. Become a VIP. Learn about everything that they do for people just like you online at thediamondshop.net.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy, weight gain, or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you're truly prepared? Sue Thomas here. And when it comes to retirement planning, keep in mind Financial and Tax Architects, FTA, has helped families all across St. Louis plan to retire with clarity and confidence. FTA specializes in creating tax-efficient retirement strategies, showing you how and when to claim Social Security, and building an income plan designed to last as long as you do. Now, they have a Retirement Planning 101 class. It is eye-opening. It's 2.5 hours. It's offered on campuses of colleges throughout the area. No cost or obligation, but you're going to learn how to avoid costly mistakes, reduce unnecessary taxes, and make your money work smarter in retirement. Call 314-888-5101 or visit fta-ria.com to reserve your seat today. Space fills quickly, so don't wait. Take that first step toward a more confident retirement.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
Live, local, and conservative. It's the Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
And now, Ethan reads the news in a different language.
Oh, no. I don't know any different languages.
Just speak man.
Speak man. Testosterone.
We're
talking about sports and football.
What did you say?
Nothing. What did you say at the end?
Did you say sports and football and butts?
I guess that answers that question.
I did not say that, Annie.
You're a butt guy? Okay.
All right.
I'm going to move on with
see some toxic masculinity back in this joint.
Hi, guys.
Weird that I had to bring it back.
Yeah, FYI, we do not talk about that when it's just us hanging out. So I'm a little surprised by that.
The weirdest part is that you talk about each other's butts, but go on.
We don't. Ethan, confirm.
The Missouri Tigers won on Senior Day on Saturday, defeating Mississippi State 49-27. Tigers running back Ahmad Hardy, 300 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on 25 carries. That is a career best, and with the win, Mizzou moves back to 3-3 in the SEC, and they're now 7-3 overall, and they will take on number 11 ranked Oklahoma next weekend. Actually, Oklahoma's probably going to be ranked higher in just a couple weeks. They just beat Alabama this weekend, so that'll be a tough contest this upcoming weekend. Illinois won, defeating the Maryland Terrapins. Ryan Quick, what's a terrapin?
It's a flying horseshoe.
It's a turtle. Good try, though.
Said with great confidence, like a man.
A flying horseshoe for Maryland Terrapin.
The Terrapins' 6th straight lost. Illinois is now 4-3 in the Big Ten.
It's a turtle.
And 7-3 overall. They are at Wisconsin next weekend.
Why would a horseshoe fly?
It had been thrown.
By an Illini, apparently.
People play horseshoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the horseshoe not when it's on the ground. That's a terrapin.
Silly me. Go on.
The St. Louis Blues lost another game on Saturday night in front of a sold-out crowd, this time to the Vegas Golden Knights. Final score, 4-1.
Are we panicking? Is St. Louis panicking?
Yeah, we're starting to get to that point. At least I am. I think a lot of people were jumping on the panic wagon before me.
Panicans?
Yeah, the pan wagon. But I was not quite there. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. This is stretching out way longer than I thought it would. And the Blues now have just won 3 of their last 14 games. They are now 0-4 in overtime, so that's fun. And they've only scored 52 goals in those 14 games. They've allowed 73 during that time.
That's not great.
Excuse me, that's on the whole season. They are minus, 21 in goal differential. Yeah, that's pretty.
Is that bad?
It's not very good. Not very good, Annie.
Thought I'd ask the men in the room. I don't know for myself.
She doesn't know this.
No.
It's a manly
It's
sport,
just
so
us
I
talking.
understand why you wouldn't get that. Speaking of manly things,
No, keep going.
speaking of
You're across the room from me. Go on.
Speaking of manly things, a man was recently charged after throwing rocks at buildings in downtown St. Louis.
I throw a rock at
building. Building pissed me off.
I'm bored. What are we gonna do?
I show that.
Usually I don't discuss these kinds of stories, where someone was arrested for this thing, because usually most of them are depressing. But I thought it was kind of funny
This one was joyful.
And his name's Ryan.
Yeah, but they were huge rocks.
They're
Stuff that
boulders.
you couldn't even lift them.
The boulders at the building.
Ryan, what were you doing at 5:40 on November 13th in the morning, 5:40 a.m.?
I was throwing boulders at a building.
Apparently.
The problem is
With
it
one
was
arm?
City Hall, and you can't fight City Hall.
35-year-old Ryan Williams was seen on surveillance.
Ryan Williams, I see.
Yeah. I was
Picking-
drunk when I said my last name.
It was picking up.
Have you ever been drunk at 5:40 a.m.?
Probably.
Dude, I don't
Drunk
remember
on
that
life,
stuff.
man. I'm
Who
up living,
cares?
running, going for a jog before the sun comes
My
up.
life is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Daytime, I'm this guy. Nighttime, I am a different guy who's tired.
Ryan Williams.
I'm Ryan Williams. Yeah.
Was seen on surveillance footage picking up and throwing rocks at the Hertz building located on the first block of South Broadway. Even broke 7 windows in the building.
Whenever he hit it, did he say donut?
I don't know. Ryan.
Hertz donut?
You tell me. In another incident, around 8 a.m. the same morning, police said Williams could be seen on surveillance video again picking up rocks and throwing them at the Globe building located on the 700 block of North Tucker Boulevard. He broke 2 glass panels in that building. So there's that for you. Yeah, I
We were
figured
in the
that
way.
one.
What are you
Figured that
gonna
one.
do?
What'd you say?
The buildings were in the way.
Kate wants to know if oatmeal cream pie wrappers were found nearby.
Ooh, good question.
Were they
it was
double
not
deckers?
reported on, but
We
I'm
could
going to
talk
go
to the
ahead and
police chief,
assume
but he's
it
been
was.
fired.
Awkward. Annie!
What?
You guys are getting an emos in Edwardsville.
Darn right we are, and I know exactly where it's going.
After being
Ready to roll.
without one for a little more than a year, the Square Beyond Compare is returning to the old Evil. It closed last year, the original or the old location, last year on Halloween. The previous spot on State Route 157 is now a Sandy Sandwiches, Soups, and Salads. That's a lot of S's. And the new Emos is going to be on Century Drive in the University Point complex.
Behind Gas Donald's.
And it will take the place of Chappie's Fried Chicken and Burgers.
Ah, we loved you, Chappies. We knew
Chappies.
you not.
Poor Chappies. Very sad. Do we want to keep going? Yes?
Yeah. Do 4 more.
4 more. Okay. Here we go. Remember,
as long as it has to do with man things.
Remember last year, tornadoes, those are that's kind of man thing, right? Tornadoes?
What?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Man-made.
Kind of man thing.
Yeah, confirm.
Yeah.
Chemtrails.
Well, last year or I guess that was earlier this year, when the tornado hit here in St. Louis, there was all of the commotion around the city emergency management agency really fumbling the bag in that situation as far as the inability to get the sirens going. And, the city has now hired a new city emergency management agency commissioner, and his name is Greg Favre. And he has a lengthy background and roles in the state and local communities. Been a deputy director and chief operations for the Missouri Department of Public Safety, executive director for the St. Louis Area Regional Response System. He was a U.S. Navy officer. He was a captain. He was on the captain and command staff for the St. Louis Fire Department. So, hopefully this ends up being a better hire than the previous one.
Wow, that resume is lengthy, which just goes to show you it's not the commotion, it's the size of the boat.
The motion, not the commotion. Ryan.
I used words that you used in the story to say that, though.
Time to go to break.
Thank you.
Cutting Ryan off.
Thank you.
We need a break here. The YouTube live chat poll. Are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? You can vote in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Ryan or Ethan will give us those results at the end of the show. You can also text us while Ryan's favorite song here plays. 314-241-9797. Stop dancing like that. That is the least masculine thing you've ever done.
Nothing.
No,
Don't fake
Don't
this.
sell yourself short there, Ryan Wiggins.
Ryan, keep your shirt on.
Oh, my gosh. I also want to give you guys a heads up. Mark Reardon is going to have Scott Jennings on at 3:18 today. So stay tuned here after we wrap up at the top of the hour. Hand it over to Mark Reardon. Scott Jennings, of course, on the Mark Reardon Show at 3:18. Take it away, Ryan. You're doing a great job. We'll be right back. All right. Ryan's done. Let's talk about Todd Sivia and Sivia Law. SiviaLaw.com. If you have been thinking about getting your estate plan looked at, you've got one, it's been a minute since somebody has given it the look over. Sivia Law can do that for you. And if you're one of the first 10 callers right now to 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, the first 10 callers are going to get the $300 strategy session fee waived. You just got to mention my name when you call them. For wills, trusts, powers of attorney, avoiding probate is such an important thing to do to manage through, the grieving process, of course. Everything that is left behind, if you've determined on paper and with pen what your actual will is with an expert like Todd Sivia, you are going to allow your loved one to grieve, to move on in a way that has, the process gets to take place. And probate, the state, they don't take over and cause everything to cost a lot more money, cost a lot more time to get done. The whole thing. 833-995-WILL. That's the number to call. 833-995-WILL. Mention Annie when you do and get that strategy session fee of $300 waived. Online at SiviaLaw.com.
Hey, it's Mark Cox. Let's support our first responders. Enter Responder Rescue's ATF raffle. Prizes include top shelf bourbon, a lit cigar lounge VIP night, and a CZ P10 pistol from the range. Text Responder to 33100 to enter today.
Are you looking for a podcast about pro football that doesn't put you to sleep with an avalanche of analytics or insult your fandom with brainless hot takes? Well, hi. I'm Dan Hansis.
And I'm Mark Sessler.
Oh, hi, Mark. And we're the hosts of Heed the Call, the NFL podcast you've been waiting your whole life for.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we do it all with a touch of mirth.
Football is fun. Why shouldn't your football podcast be the same?
Follow and listen to Heed the Call NFL podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
All righty, we're getting ready to come into winter here where we're going to be using our furnaces. A lot of you are getting prices now, or you're getting your furnaces checked and you're being told that you have an issue with your furnace and you need a new furnace. So if that is the case and you want a very simple common sense approach to picking a furnace, if that's the case, I'd appreciate you calling and giving me a chance to meet with you and discuss your options. So call me. It's one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. Just one number. Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or on the web is bartinman.com. Now there's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749. Sponsored by Term Provider.
Hey, that was a new voice on the Big Lou ad. There wasn't Big Lou. Guns N' Roses is coming to town on November 20th, the day before Thanksgiving, and now is the time to call if you want to get some free tickets. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Be the seventh caller, and you'll get 2 tickets to see Guns N' Roses on November 26th. That is 9 days away, roughly. So next Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving. 314-241-9797. It is 2:39. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Real talk, today's issues. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
If you change your mind, take a chance. I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. Gonna be around. If you got no place to go when you're feeling down. If you're all alone and the pretty birds have flown, honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. Gonna do my
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. The YouTube live chat poll, we're asking you about men and how men are, men obviously are different than women. I say that obviously. Is it still obvious? I think society has determined it is still obvious. Don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, on the whole, people are either, the way that society has been tried to be pushed, especially like woke culture, that's just the easiest way for me to sum it up. When I say that, everybody knows what I mean. Whether you agree with it or not, everybody gets what I mean. Society has been pushed to try to completely redefine what normal is. And I think that people break down into maybe 3 categories: embracing it, tolerating it, and rejecting it. And I think most people have been in the tolerating it category for a long time. I can't stress how patently offensive it is to see the transgender movement embrace men who want to be women, do all of the things that women have to put on themselves to, this sounds like Michelle Obama right now. Michelle Obama's talking about her hair and how black people have to wear their hair a certain way for white people. No. If you're going to speak on behalf of black people, Michelle Obama, I'm going to speak on behalf of white people and say, you don't have to do anything to your hair because white people. You can choose to do your hair a certain way. If you think that your hair looks better one way over the other, that is on you to make that decision. And if you're doing it for anybody else, that's still a you thing. That's not an everybody else thing. And it frustrates me to no end. I've said this off air, and I'm going to say it right now. And I don't think I've said this publicly. But it really bothers me that when a woman is seen publicly and the woman is less attractive, people have to ask themselves if it's actually a woman. It is a reasonable consideration if you see a woman who doesn't meet the beauty standards that are, out there for that are kind of considered the beauty norms. Somebody said this about Megyn Kelly recently. Was it Don Lemon? I can't remember who said it specifically. Said that Megyn Kelly looked like a trans man. And said it in a way that was pejorative. It is now from the same people who are championing transgender women, which is men who are dressing up as women. It is also an insult from that same category of people to a woman to say they look like they're transgender.
Have we come full circle?
I know that in all the scenarios, women lose. You can't just be a less attractive woman anymore. Now you might be a man, but no, you're not. You're just, no, I'm not actually a man trying to be a woman. This is just how I look. But you can't accessorize femininity. You can't accessorize being a woman. Being a woman is the most internal thing about me. And the things that my body does that make me a woman, you cannot make your body do if you are not born a woman. That's pretty simple. I don't think culture has wrapped up and on the whole welcomed this idea of gender no longer being binary.
I know that this isn't exactly a new topic for society to be discussing. This is something that is, I guess, since the last 5-10 years, it's become a thing that we have to talk about transgenderism. Before that, we really didn't talk about it much. But for so many years, going into this discussion, I thought this issue is so dumb that I don't really know how to discuss it intelligently because it just sounds so crazy and weird to be approaching some of these bad arguments. Like female empowerment requires men to also be women. Like it's so dumb that to even talk about it makes me feel dumb. But you have to address it now, just like we were talking about with what does it mean to be a man, masculinity. A lot of it was so unspoken for so long that it was like co-opted that we didn't have language to even discuss it because it was so obvious that it took us a little bit to catch up and go, oh, now I guess we have to address this.
Your answer to this question, Ryan, are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? Yes, it's already lost. Yes, it's correctable. No, it's not a real issue. Your answer?
Yes, but it's correctable.
Brad, what's your answer?
My answer is yes, but it's correctable.
So if you feel as though it's a correctable issue, but it is an issue, who is going to bear the lion's share of the responsibility in correcting it? Men or women?
Men. Well, you know what? Women are welcome to that discussion too, but men have to do it. Men are the ones that have to just step up and do it and be considered toxic or whatever it is.
But what is considered toxically
I don't
masculine?
know.
I'll tell you. It's the sleazeball who walks up to you at a bar and starts hitting on you and touching you and like being so self-consumed. How lucky it is for you to meet me type of a thing. I mean, toxic masculinity. Andrew Tate is toxically masculine. He thinks his masculinity is the best thing about himself. His masculinity doesn't put him in a position to serve other people. His masculinity is there to serve itself. That's toxically masculine. Is there toxic femininity? You bet your britches there's toxic femininity. And I think that's a large part of how we got here. But being a protector is not toxic. Having that urge to protect those people who you love, not toxic. Having the urge to want to be with a woman is not toxic. Having the urge to want to pursue and create and to grow and to succeed, that is not toxic. Are you doing it to serve the people around you, which can also include yourself, or are you doing it completely to serve yourself? That's where it becomes toxic.
I think the way I want to see men step up, and this requires men to step up in ways that aren't just like, oh, go fix your truck tire and stuff. I mean, like in society, is you got to be a dad. If you have kids, you got to be a dad. You got to know that you're stepping into responsibility and accept that responsibility. And also to push back on the culture in places like your workplace or wherever. If somebody is out there yelling, and you're not this way, because if you are a jerk, and you're just a jerk, but if you're not, and somebody's talking about the oppressive male culture of the world, you have to not give a damn about that stupid argument, because somebody somewhere is going to say that you are oppressive and blah, 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 stuff that has actually nothing to do with you. And you have to just
you have to be principled enough to act regardless of the pressure.
Yes. No matter what the stupid argument is, you have to either go about your day and prove them wrong through action, or if you want to argue with it, prove them wrong through word. But either way, prove them wrong. Don't accept the narrative about yourself that you are some sort of oppressor, that so many, unfortunately, many people on the political left, many men, have accepted that as their identity.
Libby says on YouTube chat, that's not toxic masculine, that's just being a jackass. And Ender said, that's where you lose me, Annie. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. It's just toxic behavior. I don't disagree with what Ender is saying there, and I've heard that before. And I say that before. I've said that many times when it comes to throwing the label racist out there. There are people who are just jerks. And we always want to label things with being an ist or a phobic or something like that. We should call jerk behavior. It can be toxic. I think that toxic masculinity is a charged term, which is why I throw the word out toxic femininity, because I think that exists at the same time. I think we agree on what we're saying. It's there is behavior out there that is the overindulgence of your carnal testosterone laden urges, and you just have no filter on it because you are a jerk. Can it be labeled toxically masculine? I think so. But I think that causes the whole conversation to get away from the initial point, which is the traits that are considered masculine are not in any way, shape, or form in and of themselves toxic. And we are raising young men to run away from those urges, and that has consequences. I certainly think it does. More discussion when we come back. Brad has something he wants to say, I think, so we'll get to that too when we return. Ethan will come give us the results of the poll, which you need to go vote in on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? We'll be right back. So have you called Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair yet? I hope so. If you haven't, here's the number once again to have Matt come check the basement water situation that you have been dealing with, wrestling with, and you want to deal with it no more. Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair can be reached at 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, and have them come look at your situation. They can help with drain tile installation, sump pump integration, and they stand behind the Home Shield waterproofing system with a lifetime warranty that can give you the confidence that your investment is going to be protected. When issues arise, if they do after the fact, they'll address them at no additional cost to you. You can learn more if you go to homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com/basement-waterproofing, all about that specific issue service that they offer. But they also can help you care for foundation repair issues you might have outside of a water issue, concrete lifting as well, and of course that basement waterproofing system that they can provide you. Schedule an appointment now at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Join us on Monday, November 24th at Helen Fitzgerald, starting at 3 for the official Guns N' Hoses weigh-in. You could win tickets, meet the fighters, and hang out with us. Details at 971talk.com/events.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-548-4040. 800-548-4040. That's 800-548-4040.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
So we're talking about men. We talked about toxic masculinity. We talked about men and this interview that Scott Galloway did with Bill Maher. And he's talking about how men need relationships more than just with women. 45% of men, 18 to 24, 45% of men, 18 to 24, have never asked a woman out in person.
Oh, man.
That's wild.
Wow. That's a rite of passage.
We're cooked.
You got to do that. Even if you get told no, that's part of it.
Well, that's another. I don't have time to play the clips. Maybe we can get to him some more tomorrow if we talk about it more tomorrow. But he's like, men need to be forged in hearing no, 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 because the big things happen when you finally hear yes. And if you never ask anything to hear no because you're so afraid of hearing no, you're never going to get the yes. So then, what does that result in? Brad, you had some thoughts you wanted to share on it?
Yeah, well, one of the things was I was going to piggyback on what Ryan said and say that mentorship is important as well. Men have to teach other young men how to be men, because whenever you're young, you get all these urges and changes in your life, and you don't know what to do with them. And for a lot of people, and throughout history, that's been dad. But sometimes dad isn't in the house, or dad is an absent father, and you need another man to show you what that behavior is, and to be comfortable in his skin as a man. That will go a long way towards shifting culture. And to the pursuing women, I think that there's an element of this, is that also that women this day and age also have to be the kind of person that a man would want to pursue. And I think we're losing that as well, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Way to end the show on women being unpursuable.
Yeah.
Men being unwilling to pursue and women being unpursuable. Is that also another chicken and the egg thing? Because do women want to be pursued by these men?
It's probably both.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle here where if women are not going to save themselves or at least protect themselves, are they pursuable? That's an interesting point. Real quick here, I want to read Ender's comment, then we'll get the results. Oh gosh, dang it went away. Never mind. Go on. Give us the results and I'll hit you with the comment here if it comes up.
217 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Are you concerned men are losing the traits that make them unique contributors to society? 17% say no, it's not a real issue. 19% say yes, it's already lost. 64% say yes, but it's correctable.
A good X's and Y's question is what makes what makes a man pursuable and what makes a woman pursuable? So we'll dive a little bit deeper into that tomorrow. Thank you for being with us here today. 3:18 p.m. on the Mark Reardon Show. Scott Jennings. Keep it right here.
It's time now for today's Spotlight on Money.
Thanksgiving is about feasting with family and friends, but cooking the big meal does not have to be a part of that tradition. Izzy Karish, president of Hospitality Works in Chicago, says the restaurant Thanksgiving is a trend that shows no sign of slowing down.
Just enjoy time with the family, no cleanup, just a good time. This is the direction that things are going.
I'm Rob Hart.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent.